and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code OIL25.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today at 407-213-0000. That's 407-213-0000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This hour of Real Radio 104.1, sponsored by FloridaJobsNow.com, coming Wednesday, September 18th.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because clients and character matter. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Someone's going to get offended. It's just the way the world works. So to hopefully save everyone a little time and or energy, here's this. The opinions that you hear are those of the host and callers, and not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers. You are now listening to The Jim Colbert Show on Real Radio 104.1.
That's right, guys. Here we go on a Tuesday edition of the Jim Colbert Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate that, as we do every single day, and we do have a banger for you set up this afternoon. We'll get you caught up on what's happening out there with Deb's Woke News. 4 o'clock hour, it's what you do that's new. Our buddy Scott Maxwell has a choice, and then I have something for you guys. 5 o'clock hour, it's trivia. Orlando Magical Dining Dinner for 2 up for grabs. We'll end it up with you heard it here for us. First, or fast. Your calls, texts, and callbacks all day long. Welcome to the program. I am Jim. To my left, my lovely and very dangerous co-host, Ms. Deb Roberts.
Hello there.
Straight ahead, producer Jack Bradshaw.
Good afternoon.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us easily at 77031. Find us on social, Instagram and Facebook at The Jim Colbert Show. On Twitter, just at Jim Colbert Show. And, of course, all day, every day at JimColbertLive.com. If you would like to send us a talkback, you could do that. Just get the iHeartRadio app, go to Real Radio once you get it, and use that little microphone to send it on down the line. How you guys doing today?
It's free.
It is free. It's awesome, too, by the way. I use it all the time. I'm currently listening to an interview with Nikki Glazer on Smartless.
Yeah.
She's on with those guys, and I have found myself intolerable of part of those because it is just a giant ass-kissing fest for most of that, and the questions are usually pretty bad, but they do get a real natural response to them. And I guess one of the big things with Nikki Glazer right now is today they released some of the guests and everything that are going to be on the 50th anniversary season of SNL.
Right.
So this is the 50th year. There's planning a bunch of stuff. I think one of the shows that they're planning is Taylor Swift as the musical guest, Eddie Murphy as the host.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a blockbuster, big evening. And one of the reasons a lot of people believe that this season could be one of those must-watch seasons, even though the cast may not be that recognizable as they were in the past, because there's no standout star right now outside of Colin Jost and Michael Che, I would say, with the stars, that this may be Lorne Michaels' final year, to call it good at 50, then pass the baton on to a number of people been mentioned Seth Meyers, I think, was one that had come up about taking it over. Tina Fey, I guess. Her name had come up as well.
Hey, you can't forget it being a presidential election.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of fodder there.
Yeah, exactly.
Maya Rudolph coming back.
She's coming back. And I guess that same guy who's been doing Trump for them for a while probably wind up doing Trump for him now, because I don't know if, although it would be neat if they got Shane Gillis, if they were able to get Shane Gillis in there to do it, that would be kind of cool. I just don't know if you'd do it. But we'll see how that goes.
The guy they have, and I hate the fact that I can never remember this guy's name.
That's why I said
he does a fantastic job. Matter of fact, when Shane Gillis was on it, they were both doing Trump, and
Yes.
I like this guy's better.
Did you really? I
Yeah.
think Gillis's is. I mean, it's damn good. It
is.
I think it's one of those good things where you close your eyes, you hear them both talking, you're like, okay, that's obviously Trump, but that's not too far off.
Yeah.
And he's got his mannerisms and the whole 9 yards. But Nikki Glazer on SmartList, and it's good. I like it, and you get it for free with iHeartRadio app.
I listened to their interview with Henry Winkler earlier today.
Yeah, did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, what an interesting cat, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the nicest guys in the game.
Yeah.
And he's got that reputation for being nice and very passive. The Fonzie was kind of an odd thing for him because he really isn't that guy at all, like not even close to it.
Right.
Yeah, it's his counter persona, which is
yeah.
why he was so good at it.
That's exactly the case.
Because you believed it was him,
Right.
and then you find out he's just a teddy bear of a guy, and you're like, oh.
So far removed from it. And
Yeah.
you know how he tells the story of the audition. I've heard that interview. He tells the story of his audition going in for Fonz, which was kind of a haphazard kind of, I guess I'll go do it kind of thing. And he just kind of threw caution into the wind and said, I'm just going to lay it out the way I would do it. And, it worked. You hear a lot of those stories about
Yeah, you
Hollywood.
do.
Speaking of Hollywood, last night went to see Deadpool. Is it Deadpool and Wolverine? Is that the
Yes.
actual name?
That's the actual name.
Wow, that's not a good review when you walk out of a movie you just went to
Well,
last night and can't remember.
I've never seen a Wolverine movie. I'm not an X-Men
Yeah, I
guy.
haven't either.
So I've not seen Logan. I hear it's one of the best ones of that entire series.
Oh, my gosh. I haven't either.
So I don't really have a connection with Wolverine, but I do have a great connection with Deadpool because I think it's one of the funniest characters that have been on television or movies or whatever in some years. And really had no expectations, had read nothing about the plot of the movie, had no idea what was going on.
The best way to go in.
I just knew that guy was going to be in it. Apparently, there were going to be some really good cameos. And to be quite honest with you, with this character, this is one of the few times I can say I really don't even care what the plot of the movie is about. I really don't. Just give this guy lines and let him do his thing, right? Because the writing room in that film must have been like
chef's kiss.
I would
Awesome.
think it's like literally almost like being in a Ron Burgundy kind of Will Ferrell-esque kind of writing room where nothing seems out of bounds and everything is in play, which is exactly what the case was. And per the norm for me, without giving anything away. And I'll say this about every one of the Deadpool movies. I think you minimum have to watch these movies 3 times. Minimum. To get every possible joke. Because what you don't understand, and I caught one last night, every Marvel movie, I believe, has a Stan Lee thing to it, right?
Yes.
Has a Stan Lee, like
Yes.
Easter egg.
Yes.
In other words, he'll be on a corner reading the paper or whatever. But
Right.
So one of the cameos or one of the things I caught at the very last minute and had to remind myself, oh, geez, I'm supposed to be looking for this stuff in the movie while watching the movie and then listening to the movie, which is impossible. And I literally, as I started paying attention to that, is exactly when it was like, an hour and 15 minutes into the movie. And I'm like, damn, that's another aspect of it I forgot. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Start to finish.
Nice.
It is.
Laughed your hat
Now,
off.
look, the plot of the movie, whatever. Can I tell you? I didn't even get it really. I guess whatever.
Are there boobies in it?
No boobies.
No boobies?
No, but
Oh, no boobies.
It's rated R.
so much.
Come on.
So much homoeroticism.
Okay, we'll go for that.
So many.
There you go. Let
So
that free
many
fake.
incredibly good jokes. So many incredible off-taste jokes. So many great drug jokes. So many great references. God, it was a blast. My son and I literally laughed out loud. We were 2 of 4 people in the entire theater.
Okay.
It's a 10-10 showing in Lake Blanken County.
Yeah, there you go.
Guess what? You're there by yourself. And I think those people were lost. We're like, this doesn't look like it ends with us.
Right?
But we were laughing. My son and I were cackle laughing like the entire time. And a lot of the stuff was like Marvel Universe stuff that I wouldn't have even gotten, that he was like blowing apart. I
Right.
only get the surface stuff, like the non-nerd stuff, like, Cool Dad stuff. And he got all the other stuff.
But who explained that to you?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, it was really fun. Again, worth the money. We saw it on the big screen, so we could get the good sound. The fight scenes, can I tell you? One of the reviews I heard was it's kind of a gloppy mess because of the fight scenes. I would kind of agree with that a little bit. The fight scenes are a little messy. They're big. There's a lot of stuff happening. Hard to focus on one thing. That's an easy way to hide all that stuff that's supposed to be happening with CGI. If you focus on one character in those fight scenes, it really makes it a little more interesting because you can see how little they do.
Yeah.
But when it's blended with the other 50 dudes fighting and throwing swords, it looks like it blends right in.
I remember that in the Jason Bourne movie, the fight scene that's like in the bathroom. It's just so shaky,
right,
and stuff. It was just like
I would agree with that.
You can't understand like exactly what's happening. You just know that they're fighting.
The thing is, though, I think that's a style to kind of hide the mistakes of a fight so that they can kind of move on. To choreograph those things takes a lot of time, and it's expensive, and the actors can get hurt. So what I've understood is they do that quick cutting thing to be able to hide, what the fight's not doing more than what it's really doing.
Right.
And somebody just texted and said, "Can I take my 9-year-old?" I would not take my 9-year-old.
Yeah,
I would not take a. Can I tell you?
It is an R-rated movie.
I would not take a 12-year-old to this movie.
Really?
I would be borderline taking even when you're taking like an 8th grader, they're on the cusp of kind of understanding some of this reference stuff. But there's some relatively graphic. There's some graphic stuff, and this movie is a graphic movie. Now it's comical graphic. It's not horror, The Strangers graphic where people are stabbing people for fun and you know what happened. It's not that. There's so much graphic. It's so gratuitous. It becomes cartoonish, even though it's not. But I would not take an adolescent. I would not take an impressionable kid to a movie like that.
You just broke hearts all over Central Florida.
It would be look. I wouldn't judge you if you have a rambunctious 11-year-old little leaguer that maybe chews tobacco, maybe go. Take it.
Somebody did text us, Jack. Apparently there are boobies.
Okay, I'm going.
I didn't see a boobie.
All right.
Well, maybe you were laughing.
I didn't see a boobie in the movie. I didn't.
Maybe you had one of your pee breaks.
Yeah. But no, I didn't go one time. I was so proud of myself, and I had a beer. Nichelle Nichols kills it again.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole cast, all the cameos are great. There's one particular jab that's made a lot of news from a specific cameo that's used to be married to somebody who was also a really big star. And in that Marvel universe, for like one or two, they dipped their toe in there for a couple characters. Didn't turn out well. But there's a stab in there, and it's really fast and really funny. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Deadpool, Wolverine, cool movie. Could have done without the Wolverine part. They could have just left him out. I'd have been fine with it. I could have just heard Deadpool just absolutely
fanboying out, are you?
Shredding people left and right. What?
So Nichelle Nichols is in it because it was Leslie Uggams in the first one.
Is it Leslie Uggams? Is that her name? Did I get it mixed up?
She was the first
one.
one.
But I love that name.
The blind girl, the blind lady.
Yeah,
that
was Leslie Uggams, at least in the first one. Nichelle Nichols is Uhura on Star Trek.
Star Trek.
I got the wrong. I am sorry. I got the wrong young lady.
They look alike.
Do they really?
Yeah.
To be honest, stop. Yeah.
Wait, you can't say what?
They do.
I can't say people look like because they're black.
They look alike. They look exactly like. That's why I got them wrong. So my apologies to Mr. Uggams.
Yeah.
But she does a great job. It's very funny.
Yes.
Good movie. If you haven't had a chance, go check it out. You would be like one of the only humans left not seeing it because it seems like everybody else has 3 weekends in a row at over 50 million.
Yeah.
Well, that and you and all the other 11 and 12-year-olds all of a sudden aren't allowed to go anymore.
I would have seen it, but my wife was like, I don't want to go.
Well, you know what? Can I tell you? She's not going to enjoy it, and she wouldn't enjoy it. You would enjoy it.
But I would.
You would.
Well, then go.
Hello. Better or worse?
Yeah. Just do that. Do a matinee. Don't be creepy.
I'm gonna.
All right. 407.
By the way, shout out. James Austin Johnson is the SNL member who does the Trump impression.
There you go.
Last season does a fantastic job. James Austin Johnson. And with all the iconic people we mentioned, we failed to mention Kenan Thompson, who's been on the show longer than
anybody.
Than anyone.
Like 18 or 19 seasons or something like that. Ridiculous. Somebody said I look like Deadpool without his mask.
Oh.
That's so terrible
That's
to say.
Not nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hersheesh.
Awful.
They
Terrible.
nailed it, but... Ouch.
It's nothing my son hasn't already said. Deb, you got some news?
I do. And it's good news, finally, you guys. Tropical storm Ernesto is not expected to impact our state. However, if you have family and friends in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, that will be a different story. A company sues Florida over its cultivated meat ban.
Okay.
And we all scream for ice cream, especially when it's free.
Really?
We'll talk about that and more coming up next during Woke News.
You got it. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Take a little break. Come back, get Deb's news and more of the Jim Colbert Show.
Real radio. It is.
The Monsters in the Morning.
I don't know why I put up with you. You suck. And I don't want to be married anymore. And then he'll be like, but you want my paycheck coming in here, don't you? And then she goes, if you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to stop cleaning the bed sheets when you S in them.
Oh.
And he goes, hey, shut up.
The Monsters in the Morning.
Real radio 104.1.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Traffic remains slow on I-4 this afternoon, east and westbound between Osceola Parkway and 535. Delays also reported through downtown now between Park Street and Robinson Street. Looking at delays northbound on the Turnpike due to a crash partially blocking the on-ramp from OBT. If you see traffic problems, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Direct Auto. Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. With savings of up to 25%, you can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com. Savings based on discounts can vary. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
This summer, get a brand new grill at a great price from our friends over at Tools Ace Hardware. Get up to $300 off a brand new Traeger grill. Get that beautiful wood-fired flavor when you cook for the family. Maybe, just maybe, you like a propane grill. Well, they have them. Up to $150 off a brand new grill from Napoleon. That's like a professional series grill. They are awesome. But Tools also carries grills and pizza ovens from Big Green Egg, Weber, Rectech, Gosney, and Uni. And when you buy a grill from Tools Ace Hardware, check this out. You get free assembly and free local delivery on grill purchases $3.99 and up. It's Tools Ace, 13 convenient locations right here in Central Florida, or you can just shop online at acehardware.com. It's Tools Ace, your local helpful place.
This hour of Real Radio 104.1, sponsored by FloridaJobsNow.com, coming Wednesday, September 18th.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Big news for veterans and first-time homebuyers. The Hometown Heroes program provides up to $35,000 down payment and closing costs. Get pre-approved at thatmortgageguydon.com.
Thatmortgageguydon.com. The number one cause of accidents is distracted driving, like cell phones, eating, and playing with the radio. So leave it right here on Real Radio. Injured on the go? Just call Mo.com. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1932 $10 gold Indian coins have been found. These gorgeous 1932 gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-888-201-7635. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus over a $55 value free with every order. Call 1-888-201-7635 now to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
I'm John Walzak, host of the new podcast Missing in Arizona.
And I'm Robert Fisher, one of the most wanted men in the world.
We cloned his voice using AI. In 2001,
police say I killed my family and rigged my house to explode
before escaping into the wilderness.
Police believe he is alive.
Join me. I'm going down in the cave as I track down clues.
I'm going to call the police and have you removed.
Hunting.
One of the most dangerous fugitives in the world.
Robert Fisher.
Do you recognize my voice?
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Missing in Arizona.
A violent crime is committed every 24 seconds. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association exists to provide you with firearms education, training, and access to self-defense liability insurance. So when trouble comes, you'll be ready. Over 800,000 Americans trust the USCCA, and right now, there's an exclusive, limited-time offer for radio listeners. Go to defendfamily.com to get a free family defense guide, a survival secrets training video from a retired FBI agent, and see all the benefits of membership. Go to defendfamily.com now.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today at 407-213-0000. That's 407-213-0000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Between the lines, far beyond legal and ethical limits, and under the surface,
too dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We've officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events. Is somebody messing with us? Now, it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening. Radio.
We now return to the Jim Colbert Show.
What do you do, Colbert? Crew, you know who? Your favorite tea bag from Rockledge. Sorry I didn't leave a talk back yesterday. I had too much fun out by the pool with a couple friends, and man, I haven't thrown up like that yesterday in a long time. I'm happy to say I'm back on the wagon after just a day. Beer is still tasty. Have a good day.
You too, buddy.
Who does he remind me of?
I don't know.
There's an animated film. I can picture it.
And there's not even...
It's Mater from Cars.
Yes!
Right?
He sounds exactly like Mater.
And that's Larry the Cable Guy.
It is? All right.
There isn't one syllable of that I should be jealous of. Yet every syllable of that I'm jealous of.
Every day, so am I.
407-916. You're winning, T-Bag. We're losing. We're at work. You're at the pool. Hammering Stroh's lights, I'm sure.
Hey, he's got to have a little bit of the hair
out there smoking government weed.
Right.
All right, 407-916-1041. Welcome back. I am Jim. Jack is right over there, and Deborah has your news.
And now, it's time for Woke News.
It seems like kind of a misuse of the whole world.
On the Jim Colbert Show.
And we always appreciate the fact that Woke News is brought to you by that mortgage guy, Don. Okay, the FBI is investigating alleged Iranian hack attempts targeting the Trump and Biden-Harris campaigns. The Washington Post reports hackers were able to compromise the personal email account of longtime Republican and Trump operative, do not laugh, Roger Stone. Yeah. The hackers reportedly used Stone's email account to try to access the account of a Trump campaign official in June. The FBI also briefed the Biden-Harris campaign about hackers attempting to target that campaign as well. Meanwhile, the United Auto Workers Union is filing federal labor charges against former President Trump and billionaire Elon Musk. The move comes after Trump and Musk held a 2-hour conversation on X last night. Now, during the interview, if you heard it, Trump praised Musk, who owns the electric car company Tesla, for firing workers who threatened to go on strike. So the UAW noted that under federal law, workers cannot be fired for going on strike, and threatening to do so is illegal. The union recently endorsed Kamala Harris for president. I guess having audio, I mean, does that help their case?
Couldn't tell you, man. I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
I didn't pay attention because they just talked. It just says the same stuff over and over, so I got no time for it. And when he says something of importance, I'll listen.
Well, I know they had a lot of glitches as well.
Yeah. They got started 40 minutes late and then just got absolutely roasted for it. And then after that, it was just the same old hits from Trump. And I have no interest in listening to Elon Musk and Trump dog it out with a quarter of the facts.
Well, at one point, 1.3 million people were listening.
Yeah. No. It was a good crowd. I thought they were expecting like 8 million.
The latest,
I actually
they claimed, and then they claimed that it was an attack by Democrats to shut down.
Yeah,
like it was a cyber attack or whatever.
Like Democrats could figure that out?
Yeah,
Come
right,
on.
exactly.
Good point,
Yeah,
Jack.
get real hot shot.
Right, exactly.
I got distracted.
Stop giving him so much credit.
I listened. I dropped in for a little bit, but then I you know what I got distracted by? I clicked on comments, and then I just started reading, and I'm like, either it's the worst in humanity, or this is filled with bots trying to gin up controversy, or maybe it's a little both.
Yeah, I think it's probably I think it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then it's time to go make another old-fashioned and say, yeah, forget this.
Yeah.
I didn't have one last night.
Whoa!
It was
on the wagon?
Yeah, well, I got on a scale. So I'm like, let's just.
Alcohol has a magical effect on your belt.
I rode the bike today. I was like, okay, let's kind of.
All right, no more mini macaroni salad.
Let's get back to basics here.
Well, the latest Kamala Harris-Donald Trump poll out of Florida shows Trump in the lead with 47% compared to Harris's 42%. Suffolk University pollster David Palago says it's mixed news for the ex-commander-in-chief.
It's good news in that the undecided is so low, but it's bad news in the sense that people are thinking about Ron DeSantis's 19-point win 2 years ago, and now it's a ruby red state.
He says Harris also leads the Sunshine State with women, 50 to 38%, but the political landscape is changing here. Republicans, if you haven't heard, now have 1 million more registered voters than Democrats, who had 300,000 more just 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Look how much that's changed.
Yeah.
All right, in other news, Tropical Storm Ernesto isn't expected to hit the U.S. mainland as it heads up the Atlantic Ocean. Current forecasts show the storm will bring heavy rain and flooding, though, to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands today. The National Hurricane Center says Ernesto will then head northward and into the Atlantic. The forecast, welcome news for some states, including our own, which are still dealing with the aftermath of Tropical Storm and then Hurricane Debbie. Hey, speaking of hurricanes, today marks literally 20 years since Hurricane Charlie slammed into Southwest Florida.
Saw that today, yeah.
It was initially thought that the Category 4 storm would hit the Tampa area, so they told everyone in Tampa, head for Orlando. Instead, it made landfall just west of Fort Myers with nearly 150-mile-per-hour winds.
And then chased you up I-4 to Orlando.
There you go. Charlie then moved northeastward, causing damage across Florida from Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, and Orlando to the Palm Coast. Again, the city of Orlando, just the city itself, lost over 20,000 trees.
Yeah, crazy.
The storm caused 10 direct fatalities in the U.S. and around $14 billion in economic losses. And, of course, that was just the first of, 3 storms in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Charlie, Francis, Jean?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
If you were in your car in a hurricane, as long as you are, let's say, you just really have to be far enough away from trees that could fall down. And outside of that, flooding would really be the only concern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wind is not going to do.
It depends, because if you remember, we had that horrible semi-wreck over in Hillsborough because hit a slick patch. You've got all that weight behind you.
So that's driving. I'm even talking about, let's say you had no place to go. So you evacuate, suddenly you're in a hurricane. If you parked in a place that was far enough away from trees, you should be good.
Theoretically, you should be okay. Right, yeah, if there's no flooding, you're right.
Yeah, you got to hope for that, though.
Yeah, find a parking lot.
A new law will restrict how many nightclubs can open in downtown Orlando. The city council yesterday unanimously passed a law limiting the downtown entertainment area to 1 nightclub every 300 feet. Now, this is going to translate to about 1 club every block. Clubs that are already open are grandfathered in, but they cannot expand if doing so violates that new 300-foot law. The new rule takes effect September 21st. One Orlando City Council member said, listen, we're just trying to spread the love, right? They've got like a 60-block radius for this downtown entertainment area, but all of the bars seem to be clustered in like a 12 to 19 block radius. They're just trying to get the nightclubs and bars to spread out a little bit more and kind of cover the whole entertainment area.
Which I kind of don't understand. What makes the difference? What makes a difference if they're that close to each other? You go to Nashville, they share walls,
right?
Yeah. And it's a third of their damn economy there. I mean, I don't understand what the fascination is with separating these things with space.
I think they don't want it to be such a predominant part of the economy where they want a more varied and a variety in retail.
And not only that, they want more of an urban landscape where you have people walking around during the day, whereas right now they're saying most of the business in downtown Orlando is concentrated at night, and it's around bars and nightclubs. We want people, not just homeless people, walking the streets of downtown during the day, shopping, going to restaurants. So
this isn't
good luck with that.
But I was going to say, this isn't a big urban city where that happens. I mean, when you go to San Francisco, you go to, it was before the mall ideas, but now this city is spread out. It's like it's a giant welt. It's not like a big store like New York or San Francisco where you can take something, drop off, walk 10 blocks, do all your stuff and go home. It doesn't work like that. Our shopping plazas are miles and miles apart, and downtown really doesn't have any retail anymore, does it?
Well, I loved working downtown when it was vibrant, and there were lots of restaurants and lots of stores you could go to, and then you can come back on a Friday night and go to some of the nightclubs and bars.
But it has
with
to be
that office space no longer.
Right.
I mean, so many people have left the SunTrust Center, and a lot of other places have been now they're residential high rises.
And you think you ask Ace Cafe, not Ass Cafe, that's way different. Ace Cafe, when they moved out of there, that kind of not took the heart away from it, but that whole idea of going down there for a car show or a motorcycle show, but it's difficult to park down there. It's difficult to do that. And Orlando offers so many things outside the perimeter of the city proper that you can get to easier with more choices. Why in the hell would I go down there?
I don't know.
There are no big. I mean, when they shut down the exchange over there at Church Street, they spent all those years building. That pretty much wiped that idea out. And then the restaurants and the bars went intact.
Well,
there's nothing down there.
I think with the I-4 construction, right? They redo I-4, then underneath, they want that to be that green space, and I think they're trying to reimagine what they're trying to draw and make it more of a day and night thing as opposed to just a night thing where
it's night.
People are showing up at 9, 10 p.m.
Exactly.
Right.
They're 21 or under, and then during the day, it's mostly homeless people, and they just wanted a better balance, but they're not the only ones. A project that's been in the works for almost a decade in Seminole County now appears dead. The Sanford City Council voted yesterday to back out of plans to bring a mixed-use project to Heritage Park. The project would have added over 200 homes plus shops and restaurants downtown. Canceling the project will require the city to pay developers almost $4 million. Mayor Art Woodruff tells Spectrum News 13 the project looked like a great addition when it was proposed almost 10 years ago, but it doesn't align with what the city needs at this moment.
Wow.
And now, I'm surprised they're willing to pay it, because for a lot of cities, if you don't have that kind of money, the developers know it. They just bend you right over that barrel.
Yeah, they will.
My bad. Here's a check.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
All right. The trial is underway in the case of a Central Florida woman accused of killing her neighbor last summer. Opening statements began earlier today after an all-white jury consisting of 4 women and 2 men were seated in the case of Susan Lorenz. She's accused of shooting A.J. Owens, a black woman, through the front door of her apartment following an argument over the victim's children. Lorenz is charged with manslaughter. Assistant State Attorney Adam Smith questioned Lorenz's claims. She reacted in self-defense.
You're going to hear the defendant say that she feared for her life. Now, she thought she shot because she thought it was either going to be her or it was going to be us. But yet you're also going to hear the defendant say that she never even intended to hit Ajika when she shot.
Owens' 4 children are expected to testify during the trial because they witnessed the incident in June of last year. Deputies say they had been called out to that complex 7 times due to disagreements between the victim and the suspect.
Yep.
Meanwhile, a hearing was held this morning for an OnlyFans model charged with stabbing her boyfriend to death inside their Miami high-rise apartment. Last month, prosecutors dropped charges against Courtney Clenny and her parents, tied to allegations they hacked into her boyfriend Christian Obumseli's laptop. The attorneys for her parents want their phones back. now that those charges against him have been dropped. Give them back their stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Digital property that belongs to my clients. The case that is being held under right now has been dismissed. So at this point, we'd like our properties back.
Clenny, who's now 27, didn't appear in court today. She remains jailed at the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center on a second-degree murder charge. Probably not a comfy space when you're used to being an OnlyFans.
Yeah. No.
Her murder trial is set to begin on December 19th.
There you go.
All right, Florida's getting sued over its law banning lab-grown meat.
Okay.
Attorney Paul Sherman says the Constitution does not allow states to protect their agricultural products at the expense of federally approved alternatives.
If states have the power to ban meat products that they don't like, that would give a liberal state the power to ban conventional meat in favor of cultivated meat.
Here we go again, right? The tit for tat. Sherman's group is suing on behalf of Upside Foods, one of two companies authorized to sell the non-farmed meat. They want injunctions against state officials and 4 local prosecutors to allow tasting events and other promotions. Governor Ron DeSantis said in signing the bill that, quote, elites, end quote, are trying to create peer pressure to ban agricultural meat products and put people out of business. Speaking of business in Florida, SpaceX. Come on now.
No, that's fine.
SpaceX is planning to expand its operations in Brevard County.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Officials discussed Project Liftoff.
Okay. I like it already.
Don't you?
Yeah, sure.
Nice snazzy little name.
Got a ring to it.
Project Liftoff. During last week's meeting with Space Florida's board of directors, the proposal is going to add 3 rocket landing zones and other infrastructure enhancements to its Cape Canaveral complexes. If approved, the Florida Department of Transportation is expected to pay half of the $27 million development. Not too bad, actually.
Not too bad at all.
It doesn't sound too shabby. Yeah. The project is expected to create 300 jobs on our Space Coast.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's a pretty fair investment. All right, Florida is considered one of the best places to live, right? We would agree. But this is according to a new study from Wallet Hub, which ranks the best and worst states in the U.S. Metrics used by the personal finance website include cost of living, the economy, quality of life, quality of education and health, job opportunities. Florida comes in second place.
Really?
What state is considered the best state to live in?
Well, I would say Texas.
Jack?
Idaho.
Or North Carolina.
Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah. Really? With that cost of living up there?
That's
and that
what
weather?
I think is crazy.
And the weather sucks.
Cost of living is why I did not pick Northeast.
Which
yeah,
one
that's
is
exactly the reason I didn't choose it.
Which one is the last? In this Wallet Hub study.
It's got to be Mississippi.
Alabama.
It's got to be one of those. I mean,
Louisiana.
Yeah, I was going to say
Louisiana.
There's that little triumvirate of
despair
in the South, which is Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana.
Yeah, that's just heartbreaking.
Might be able to throw Arkansas in there as a bastard son.
The redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, but they get those Ozarks and they're kind of cool.
An Orlando resident is back home with quite the souvenir from his time in Paris. Omari Jones arrived at Orlando International Airport yesterday with the bronze medal he won for boxing in the Olympics. The 156-pounder was the only American boxer to win a medal. He got a hero's welcome at OIA with fans greeting him with chants of USA, USA. Jones tells News 6 it feels great knowing all of his hard work and dedication paid off. And Omari, if you can hear us, hit us up, yo.
Yeah. Already, we contacted him and a couple other people trying to get him on the air, but
DMs.
My man got mobbed at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
That's cool.
And you go to his
very cool.
You go to his Facebook page. That's where I went. I just sent him a message on Facebook. So if you know this guy,
tell
him
him
to look
know.
at his Facebook page. But what an inspiring story! What an awesome kid. His parents, what a great support system around him and stuff. If you go to his Facebook page, which you can just kind of go. It just shows all the great support he's had through this entire journey of making it to the Olympics. Pretty cool.
Well, let's hope his bronze doesn't turn out like Team USA skateboarder Nyjah Houston's bronze. He won his bronze medal in the street skateboarding finals in Paris, but now says just over 2 weeks later, the medal is tarnished and chipping.
That thing looked like it was in the Titanic, dude.
Yeah, Houston.
What'd he do to it?
I don't know, but I'm serious.
Houston,
he showed that thing after like 2 days. I'm like, where'd they get that? It's like a thrift store?
Yeah, Houston showed his medal on his Instagram story and says it looks great when he got it, but after wearing it, getting it sweaty, then letting his friends wear it as well, quote, it looks like it's been through a war, end quote. A spokesperson for the Paris Olympics says they're working. We're working with the company who produced the medals to understand what happened.
Right. I'd leave it just like that. I'd kind of want it to have a little what's that word? A little patina.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd like.
Maybe the lesson is don't let your friends wear it.
Yeah, your stinky skating friends.
And that any athletes who report a problem with their medals will be given replacements. Would you want a replacement if that's the medal you were handed on the stands?
No, thank you. That thing could be tarnished. Somebody could have carved their initials in it.
Right.
I don't care.
Exactly.
That's the one I'm taking home.
All right, parents, this is the best news you're going to hear all week outside of the fact that school has started. Chuck E. Cheese is launching membership plans. Huh?
A membership to Chuck E. Cheese?
Huh? The family entertainment chain is going to offer unlimited visits for a monthly fee beginning at $8 for the bronze tier to $30 a month for the gold tier.
If you go to Chuck E. Cheese once a month.
The passes, Jimmy, include a number of games per visit and discounts on food and drinks. That just got Jack's attention.
Okay.
Depending on the membership tier, they can be used at the over 470 participating locations in the U.S.
Really? There are that many Chuck E. Cheeses?
Now you know why they serve beer and wine.
So how many are in Orlando? Are there still just 2 in Orlando?
I don't know.
There's one out on West 50 that was there. I don't even know if it's still there anymore. And then the one that was up in
Altamont on 436.
Altamont Springs on 436. That's not far from here at all.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't know of any others. There have to be some out in Kissimmee
Oh, come on. Sign up and get that $8 a month for the bronze tier, huh? It's not an Olympic medal, but it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
And then finally, Baskin-Robbins is handing out free ice cream scoops on Wednesday. The company says it's their melt insurance, which is their promise to right or wrong of ice cream that melted so fast you couldn't eat it.
Okay.
This one-day promotion is available on the company's app with the promo code MELT. We hear from our listeners at 77031 all the time about how good those apps are, especially when it comes to getting discounts, right, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
That's why you have like over 30 of them?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, they make a difference. However, be aware.
I keep them in folders. It's very neat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure Jimmy has folders set up on his phone.
Yeah. It's got one. It says everything's in here.
Extras like waffle cones, toppings, and sundaes are not included in the Melt Insurance program. You get that where you get your Hulu, do you?
Yeah, that's interesting because there's a lot of stores that do that. You know, the 7-Eleven's been doing that free icy thing for a while. Chick-fil-A does that thing where if you come dressed like a cow, you get like a free shake or something. So, I mean, these are all popular promotions.
Speaking of Chick-fil-A, apparently they're bringing back a fan favorite that hasn't been on the menus in 13 years.
Chicken salad sandwich.
A meal that takes more than 2 minutes to deliver.
Banana pudding milkshake.
Really? What?
Oh.
Banana pudding milkshake.
I can't. Does it got pieces in it?
I don't know.
Are there pieces of cookie in there?
I don't know.
I can't take that texture. I can't have
cookie.
Yes, Nilla wafers. That's a cookie, is it not?
Okay.
Nilla wafers.
Yeah, well, she didn't say that.
Yeah,
she said banana pudding.
But that's what banana pudding has in it. Nilla wafers. Are you kidding? What's
right
wrong
off
with you?
rip. What's wrong with you? I bring up just a story, and
I'm
you
talking to
automatically
Jack.
want to know if it's got chunks in it.
I know, because here's the thing: I got texture issues. I can't be getting in there. Listen, don't laugh like a duck. You sound like a goose. Listen, when I eat that,
I'm not the one with texture issues, so I will laugh whatever barnyard animal I can muster. I don't have texture issues, weirdo.
When you get that beautiful creamy banana in there, and then next thing you know, you get a big old clump of Nilla wafer. Not that I don't like Nilla wafer, but my God, man. You can't.
I have texture issues.
Texture issues. Show title, right?
Yep.
I've got texture issues.
All right, good. I can just leave at 7 o'clock now. To stick around and brainstorm show ideas.
I didn't want to be this woke, but apparently I am. So there you go. Texture issues.
Very nice.
Does that mean you have to shave your own chest hair?
No, I do that, but what I'm saying
What
is...
about your back?
No, you know what I'm talking about. It's like if you have something and you're drinking it, and it's like smooth, and then you get like a piece of something, it's not supposed to be there.
You know what? I can... Exactly. Green grass jelly drink. It's like a Thai drink.
Or
and
those bobo drinks.
No, Jimmy, it had chunks of gelatin in it.
Yes, not good.
And I didn't expect to have to chew something that came out of a can that you pop the top.
Exactly
so
what
I
I'm
know
talking about.
Okay, I understand
Very
your
good.
texture issues.
All right, good. Okay. Are you going to honk again? All right, let's go.
And now you all are officially woke.
Thank you. 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Back in a sec with some domestic abuse with Deborah.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio. At 7, it's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by Gringos Locos and Modern Plumbing Industries. At 9 p.m., it's Real Laughs with comedians James, Miguel, Ken, and Mike. And Real Music starts tonight at 10 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Cool Today Weather Center, cooltoday.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner with your Fox 35 Central Florida forecast. Heat is the name of the game today. Our high 95, feeling like 107. There's a 40% chance for a thunderstorm this afternoon. Any storms will pack frequent cloud ground lightning, so be careful. Now, we've got a higher chance for rain for tomorrow and Thursday associated with a weak front, so be weather aware during the afternoons. It'll dry out for the end of the week. From the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Brooks Garner.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. In-store only, offer ends 8/24, limit 10. Save big on back to school at Staples.
Man, I don't know if you know, but just open your door to your house and just feel that onslaught of hot air. It is brutal out there. Is your AC ready for the rest of this summer? Look, man, in Central Florida, that goes all the way up until late October. You got to make sure it's ready to go, guys. My friends over at Mills Air can do that for you. They've been doing this for 30 plus years. Let them use that experience to make sure your AC never quits on you. Their preventive maintenance plan is the only way to go, like a tune-up for your AC, the same way you get for your car. They make sure all the things are running properly, all your ductwork is great, and then that way you get a good, efficient air system. They're all about that. Their techs can service any brand. Don't worry about what kind of AC you have. They can repair it. But check this out. If you do need a new unit, these guys are Carrier Factory authorized dealers. That could get you up to $1,275 in rebates towards that brand new Carrier unit. You could always turn to the experts at Carrier and certainly turn to our friends over at Mills Air. Awesome people. You are going to love doing business with them. They're family owned and operated. Call today, 407-277-1159. Online, it's easy. It's millsair.com.
Fence Outlet customer Jean said,
Fence Outlet made this process easy. The team was very detailed. My fence was done right by getting all the needed permitting and finding my property pins. I've had so many compliments on my new fence.
Go to fenceoutlet.com today. License number C-10252 and C-10803.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life. In Office Orlando.
Let International Diamond Center put some sizzle in your relationship this summer with free financing, free dinner, and a free romantic getaway. Now through August 31st at IDC, with any qualifying jewelry purchase, you'll get 0 interest financing for 24 months, plus a gift card for dinner valued at $150, plus a 3-night getaway to places like Nashville, Las Vegas, Miami, Hilton Head, or how about a Caribbean cruise on us? Get to IDC now for all the details and check out our special pricing on all fashion jewelry, all wedding bands, engagement rings, and luxury timepieces. See why IDC is the area's premier jeweler, locally owned, internationally connected, with no-nonsense pricing games, no pressure, no commission salespeople, and service for life on any purchase. How about a Tacori ring, or a 5-carat tennis bracelet, or a pre-owned Rolex? Spice things up with IDC's Summer of Romance offer. Free financing, free dinner for 2, and a free romantic getaway. International Diamond Center. 4 Orlando area locations. Minimum purchase required on approved credit. See store for details.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803. Don't wait. Call now. 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803.
Don't miss our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, are you having a good time?
Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio, let's go!
Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 powered by Galaxy AI with Spectrum free anytime upgrade. Use Circle to Search with Google to see more and search more on the large Z Fold 6 screen. Or capture perfectly framed pics using FlexCam and Z Flip 6. Order now with Spectrum free anytime upgrade and get up to $1,000 off, plus the value of your trade-in. Visit a Spectrum store or SpectrumMobile.com today. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Sunnyside Plumbing.
Yes, I've got a leaking...
To leave us a testimonial saying how happy you are with our service, press 1.
But you haven't even...
For all other inquiries, please hang up.
Wait, what?
Hang up and call Frank Gay. We're busy watching the game.
You know what? I think I will.
When you have a leak, you need solutions on your schedule. A helpful expert who can find the problem and fix it fast.
That's the Frank Gay way.
FrankGayServices.com.
Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show, also available to watch at The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well. It's Momanji, the realtor. Ace Cafe is coming to Sanford, and a lot of people that I used to know in the nightclub industry spend a lot of their time in Sanford now. So Sanford is kicking Orlando's ass. Thanks, bye.
They are. That little downtown scene is good. The only thing I would say about the Sanford downtown scene, living near it for about 3 months, or a month and a half, I should say, as I was languishing there in an Airbnb while waiting on my house to close.
I wish I had my tiny violin.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. We would walk down there quite often, but the one thing that you notice, though, is that blinker shuts down like 8:15. They're like, what? Well, look how late it is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stay up. I mean, Friday and Saturday nights it's a little bit later, but during the week, I mean, you can't find a restaurant seat past 8 o'clock. It closes up pretty quick.
But I think that might be the example we were talking about Orlando, with spacing out the bars is something they're looking to do, because downtown Sanford, you have bar, you have, pizza place, theater, restaurant.
Right, a little Greek place, whatever the case may be.
Little shop.
Yeah, so it's like
Kind of breaks it up a little bit.
Yeah, the record store, the book, so it's like you have a variety of things. And so, like in the daytime, on a weekend when you go Sanfording, you can walk. It's not just about bar hopping.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
And that's what downtown Orlando wants.
Right. Good luck. All right, 407-916-1041. Welcome back. I am Jim. Deb and Jack are here as well. You guys don't have the texture issue thing? That doesn't bother you?
Yes.
Like if you're drinking something and it's like, let's say let me just say you're drinking a glass of milk through a straw. Yeah. I'm not saying why. I'm just saying you're doing that. And you're drinking, right?
Because it was it's part of the cup, Deb.
Right.
That's why.
Right. And then when you drink and you suck something up through that straw that you're not expecting. Not cool, right?
100% not cool.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, no, there's one, if there's cookies in it, like there's cookies and cream ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
No texture issue. You're expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're drinking milk and you get something chewy, you think there's a bug in your glass.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Really? The bug? That's the first thing?
What do you think it is?
Yeah, I don't know.
A glass of milk.
Or he's thinking it's curdled.
Oh, God, no. You could taste that immediately. You could smell
up
it.
A cheese curd.
That's such a delicious aroma. Curdled milk. So good. Yeah. All right, 407-916-1041. I did want to ask something about the Elon Musk-Donald Trump thing last night. Went on for a couple hours, right?
Yes.
Does the equal time apply to that? Or is that just broadcast?
Oh.
I believe it's just broadcast.
Yeah,
so
that's internet. Yeah.
So it's just broadcast. So the internet doesn't really have an equal time thing that's with the FCC. For people who do not understand, like if I were to interview one of the candidates, let's say I interviewed former President Trump for half an hour, theoretically, the Harris campaign could contact us and really force us to do a 30-minute interview with her called Equal Time, so that the media outlets don't give one particular candidate more press than the other. But I guess that does not apply to online platforms.
It does not, but I don't think Elon would be opposed to it because it would only draw more attention to.
I don't even think it applies to cable news because they're not held to the FCC the way we are. Because they're a pay service.
Sure, yeah.
So just like Sirius can,
Right.
Yeah. So
interesting.
It's so muddy now, and it's so interesting. We take those courses every year, and every year I'm like, what's the rule again?
Yeah, man. Who really knows? But that would be interesting. I would like to see him. I mean, if he's going to do interviews, I would like to see him interview everyone. It'd be kind of cool to see how that plays out. It'd be kind of interesting to see how that would play out, an interview with Elon Musk and Kamala Harris. That would be an interesting interview. I don't know how it would go. I doubt either one of them would have to do it. And she's not doing much press right now. She's just doing campaign stuff. Somebody said something after that said 25 days since her, what would you, is it not coronation? That's the wrong word, but her nomination announcement. 25 days since she's done a press conference. And I don't know, is that uncommon? I'm not really sure on how that goes. Is there a protocol for how that's supposed to go?
I don't know why it matters.
The only people I hear counting are the people who aren't supportive. I don't know. It doesn't. She's
Doesn't matter.
campaigning. There's going to be next week is the Democratic National Convention. It's going to be 4 days of it, and that's going to be a lot.
Just out of curiosity, do you think it's a little odd that she did not make like a formal announcement to the country after that, or would that be something that would happen during the DNC?
That's what I think.
Okay,
that's what it's for.
Got it.
But she is going to be laying out her economic policy on Friday when she visits North Carolina.
Yeah, she's going to have to answer questions
without a doubt.
Yeah, but I think you put your policy positions forward, and then usually you'll have to answer to that.
Yeah, and I talked to my wife about this quite a bit. I thought for a fact there would be like a 30-day minimum, like onslaught of traveling around, kind of solidifying that in that party, and then they would then the machine would happen probably in October. That's what I mean, or maybe even mid-September is when they would really kind of ramp that up post DNC.
And see, I would be shocked if she spent this limited amount of time having press conferences rather than getting her and her team out on the ground. Because that's you want to get out and meet the voters. The press conferences, what the hell is that for?
Yeah, I mean, she's getting a lot of media. She's dominating the media cycle right now on all platforms. I don't care what it is. I don't care where you lean. I mean, when you go anywhere, it's Harris Walls.
The rallies,
yeah. But I mean, it's everywhere. It's major media outlets have given that plenty of coverage. So it's just going to be interesting to see how that thing pans out for sure. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us. 77031. What'd you do that's new is next here on the Jim Colbert Show.
This season, Real Radio 104.1 is the Orlando radio home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hear every game here, courtesy of Renewal by Anderson, official partner of the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Heavy traffic continues this afternoon on I-4 in the Orlando area for those traveling east and westbound on the interstate by the major attractions exits and through downtown. Looking at delays right now north and southbound on Florida's Turnpike for those traveling by the OBT and Beachline exit. If you see traffic problems, make sure to call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
Hey, it's Jim Colbert here. If you ask anybody who's experienced a LASIK surgery, they'll tell you this. It's the best thing they ever done. I remember my father-in-law got his surgery, after a couple days, everything was all set and ready to go. Man, he just walked around just looking at stuff and reading it and laughing. He could not believe the difference in his eyesight. It was miraculous, an overnight change that really changed his entire life. And if you feel that same way, your eyesight just really giving you more and more problems, what are you waiting for? The Philatowski Eye Institute is here, and they're offering free LASIK consultations, and it's easy to make your appointment. Just do this. Text 1041 to 868686, and you can start your journey to better vision. Do that with the Philatowski Eye Institute. And if you're worried about, let's say, experience, don't. 65,000 LASIK procedures under their belt, and they use the latest state-of-the-art tech that gets you the best possible results every single time. And if finances is a concern, they got you covered there as well. 24-month interest-free financing is available. Just text 1041 to 868686 and schedule your free LASIK consultation at the Filatowski Eye Institute. Your path to better vision begins right now.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
I'm Olivia. When I was injured in a car crash, I knew from listening to the station who I needed to call. I called attorney Glenn Klossman. I knew I had a super lawyer on my side. I was extremely happy with the results. I'm Olivia, and I highly recommend attorney Glenn Klossman, Office Winter Park.
I'm John Morgan, here to urge you to vote yes on Amendment 3 and legalize the adult use of marijuana. There are a lot of reasons to vote yes on Amendment 3, but let me give you one more good one. Today, too many adults are sitting in our jails simply because they were using marijuana, and that is just wrong. If I was your governor, I would free or parole every person in jail for possession, and then expunge everyone's record. Amendment 3 will put a stop to this and let the cops fight real crime, not fake crime. I'm tired of people being thrown in jail for something that is less harmful than alcohol or opioids. So now let's finish what I started and join me, John Morgan, in voting yes for the people and for Amendment 3.
Vote yes on Amendment 3. Paid political advertisement paid for by Smart and Safe Florida, 1400 Village Square Boulevard, Suite 3, 321, Tallahassee, Florida, 32312.
Join Jim Colbert on The Jim Colbert Show for his Cigar of the Week segment every Friday afternoon at 3:45. You can pick up these featured cigars at all 3 Corona Cigar Company locations, Dr. Phillips, Heathrow, and downtown. Learn more at coronacigar.com.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Between the lines.
Far beyond legal and ethical limits.
And under the surface.
Too dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We have officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events.
Is somebody messing with us?
Now, it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening.
Divorce? Call Trenley and Kramer, TK Law, onefirmforlife.com.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Find out at whenyouneedus.com or dial #546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Now back to the Jim Colbert Show.
(407-916-1041). Text us 77031. Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show right here on Real Radio. I am Jim. Deb and Jack are here as well. Let's do what you do that's new.
What you do that's new.
What you do that's new.
Hey!
If we only knew something new to do, we're relying on you. Tell us something new brought to you by Clausman Law.
That's right, Clausman Law, brought to you by our good friend Glenn Clausman at Clausman Law. That's KLAUSMAN Law.com. Offices in Winter Park, 407-917-1718. Car crash. Call Glenn Clausman. Of course, we'll talk to Glenn on Thursday for Colbert Court. Every single Tuesday, we do What You Do That's New around 4 o'clock. One member of the show will choose something for the other members to watch, read, or listen to. We'll do that, then reconvene on the following Tuesday, go over it, and move on to the next member. Now, it was Jack's time last week. We have a celebrity guest that chose, and that person is on the line with us right now, and I will reach over and grab the phone, mate. You guys give it up good and loud for Scott Maxwell.
Yay!
What up, Scott?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Well, it feels weird. 4 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Oh, and he just checked out.
After 5 o'clock?
Yeah. It's a little different seeing you this early.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm surprised you guys had me back. As you may remember, I told you, I think I was putting What'd You Do That's New purgatory after you asked me to do one about 2 years ago. And I think the general consensus was that I sucked.
Yeah, in 5 years, you had the very worst assignment.
I forget what it was.
long form journalism.
No, it was between him and Steve Kramer, but I think Scott's was worse. Long form journalism, which is like it's almost like a book, but not quite. It's just a really long magazine article.
Right.
I remember. And Steve Kramer, he gave us the Apache, the book, but he gave us the books, and we only had to read for an hour, so that was great. And it was a good book.
Yeah, it was a good book. Yeah.
Scott, it was Sheldon Adelson, I think. I don't even remember. Was that
you
it?
Remember?
Okay,
I mean, it was a fascinating story, and it began with like this guy in Florida who like discovered his house was being bugged because he'd had the audacity to take on this big casino boss. But that said, it was long form journalism, and I think Ross began the show by asking why I hated him.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So what did you give us this week?
Yeah, this was much shorter, and most importantly, I chose something I thought was timely that was be of interest to everyone. It was just an 8-minute YouTube, and I thought this was the perfect thing heading into the big tournament this weekend. But these were particularly 5 big bluffs, all from what's known as the big game. I don't know that it's played anymore. It used to be played staged by poker stars. It was all sort of celebrity poker players. I think the minimum buy-in was $100,000, and you had up to $500,000.
Yeah, it's something different now. It used to be that for sure, but now it's called Hustler Casino Live. Believe it or not, is a big cash game that they stream and stuff. A lot of the streamers have taken that space over. Because they used to do a thing called Poker Night Out as well. And again, in television, it's weird for that because you got to tune in for it at that particular time. They found streaming was a much more effective way to bring that product.
Yeah. And so this was, I think, the first incarnation of that after they were coming on to, I think it was way back in like 2000, 2010, something like that. Anyway, but the thing that was most interesting about these bluffs is A, that they were all for high stakes, and B, at the end of every one of these bluffs, the bluffers showed the other players their hands, which you often do not do and often do not want to do.
Right. Yeah. And that one guy.
And so I thought it would be worth discussing heading into the poker tournament this weekend about why we think they did it and when you might be able to do it to your advantage.
Yeah. The one guy called Viffer, the guy that you saw, I think it was the very first one. He's dead now, actually. But he was known as, that was his reputation in Vegas in the high stakes poker scene, was his ability to take any 2 cards and turn it into a hand. Some of it luck, some of it skill. But, when he showed that bluff, that was the perfect way to set it out, because that's kind of how that guy made his name for himself. The other players, though, like Daniel Negreanu, who is considered, one of the best card players in the world, they're a little bit more strategic when it comes to how they pull the trigger on things like that. That's more of a read thing than it is your hand,
And that's one of the things I took away from this. And this is, I think, what all great poker players will tell you is that you got to play your cards. Obviously, I mean, your cards are important, but sometimes your cards don't matter as much as the players. You got to play the players. And if you noticed, one thing that I took away from a lot of these bluffs is the players that were doing the bluffs would ask their opponents a question, even if it was something really small, like what's your stack size? The idea would be just to get them talking and try to pick up on their emotions and their tells, whether they're confident or nervous.
How they react to a question also is one of those things. Yeah, that's one of the things, like how you react. Like that one guy got asked how much he had, and that was the very first hand. He said 50 or 60 or whatever it was.
Right.
You could hear in his voice that he kind of knew. And if you saw the confidence, the other guy, really, that's another thing. Also, you got to tell a story with how you bet the hand. And what will happen is if you get a real tight player who plays premium hands, ace, king, ace, queen, aces, kings, queens, jacks, and only really opens with those hands, you know that when you're in a hand with somebody like that, maybe you can call with a suited connector, 8-9 of hearts or clubs or whatever, and bust a hand like that with a good flop. But, those are the things you just kind of pick up on after playing year after year after year, hand after hand after hand.
And the other answer the question of why these players showed the cards when they did. And after the very first one, which was probably one of the more devastating ones, I actually wrote down the line. The announcer said, well, he just ripped out his heart and showed it.
Yeah.
And so you ask, what's the point of that? And then there are a couple of points of that. One is to rattle your opponent, to throw them off their game, make them think they don't know how to play anymore. Another one, though, is so that the next time you have a good hand, you have everybody at the table thinking maybe he's full of it again.
Yeah.
And maybe they start calling you light on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, another thing, too, is, that showing the hand thing really is everybody thinks it's to show up the player that you just bluffed. It really isn't. What you're really doing is you're showing the table that at any given moment you can make a move. And that you should be scared S-less if I'm at the table with you, because at any given moment I could play 2-3 and hit a flop and kill you with a big pair or something. That's really what every time I've shown a bluff, I show it so the whole table can see it. I'm not really concerned of the effect it has on one player. I want the entire table to know what I'm capable of doing at that moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about Deb and Jack and all of you guys. I think I'm a decent poker player, but one reason I think I could never be a professional poker player is I just don't think I've got the stones for being all in on $100,000 pot, no matter what my income is, on a 2-7 offsuit, because I think I got a read on somebody.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do, but that's what makes you a great player, is the ability to do that, and then the ability to call players who do that to you. Like that guy had that guy made that call, that would be what they call a hero call. A call, all odds against you. There were like 13 cards in the deck that guy could have been holding, and any one of them could have made him lose. He had none of them, of course, but that's the essence of the game to me. Bluffing is the essence of poker. That's what really separates it from all other games. Is I can lie to you and try to steal your chips from you, and it's considered it has valor.
Hey, Jack, give us your review.
No, I was waiting for yours. I have one. I was waiting for yours.
All right, go ahead.
Oh,
We're sorry.
mine is short and sweet.
Go ahead. What did you think?
I watched it. And I heard everything that was said, and I understood none of it. Not a freaking
So let me translate
thing.
that. If you're playing this weekend, you want to be at Deb's table. That's what
Totally. I cannot wait for the guys who set the games up to have those little cards again that tell me what cards to keep my... I'm going to end up showing the person sitting next to me again this year. Like, is this a good hand?
You're going to be
Should I
fine.
play this?
You are going to be fine.
Everyone wants to be at my table.
Yeah. I'm not too far off from Deb, because this whole idea of bluffing, I didn't even know that was a thing. Because every time I put my chips in, it's because I know I have the best hand. So I've never bluffed. And
that makes you easy to play against. That, right?
So let's
Jack,
go.
I was not going to call you out, but I was actually thinking that when we started this. I feel like Jim has got quite a few bluffs in his repertoire. I think I've got some. I can't remember you, Jack, ever going all in with a big bluff in all the times we've played together.
And because also, if I did, if I didn't show it, you wouldn't have known it, correct?
Right, yeah. And you don't show. I mean, unless you have to. I don't think you do that. You and Otto never show your bluffs or anything like that.
Yeah, but generally when Jack raises, I put my money in my pocket, get my car keys, and head home.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a set or something better.
Yeah, it's definitely no question. If Jack raises pre-flop, I mean, he's got a premium hand, no question. I mean, it could be pocket sixes.
I hear the words.
It could be pocket sixes or ace queen. I don't get, but he's got something, and you're going to have a little bit of a fight. I think you're the same.
Before we go, I did want to say all of this sort of goes out the window a little bit in an event like this weekend when it's a turbo for charity, because half of your listeners who are extraordinarily generous people just do not give a crap about going out or calling cards. And so they are happy to call and rebuy and give the charity more money. So I wouldn't suggest a ton of bluffing for bluffing's sake this week. But I wanted to tell you one last thing, my takeaway, the greater life lesson, Deb, that I think we can all take is one of my favorite quotes in life is that if you are holding a clipboard and look confident, you can go absolutely anywhere.
You can.
And I believe that's the takeaway. When these guys look confident, they are the boss. It doesn't matter what two cards are in their table. They steamroll over everybody else.
And also playing the I don't know, let me ask the dealer makes them go, whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Is she
right.
you know?
Yeah. And, people who are beginners are harder to get off hands because they put a lot of value into every hand because they don't know.
Because they don't know.
They don't understand the nuance. They may call pre-flop with ace-5 and hit an ace, not understanding that ace-5 is really kind of a donkey hand.
Yeah.
Unless it's suited, it's really not a good, almost at any position, not a good hand to play.
I would try and
That's
file
an
that.
expression. One of the don't waste your time trying to bluff a novice player
That's
or
right.
a beginning player.
Yeah, because, I'm not going to be able to get you off that hand. If you think you've won, at that point, you've convinced yourself that I'm bluffing and that you have the best hand.
We have played before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sounds like
exactly. Well, Scott, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
I look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday.
All right,
Yeah, buddy.
There you go,
It'll be a
Scott Maxwell.
flash.
Good job, buddy.
He is the man.
All right. So I told you guys I had something cool for you, and I was not lying.
Wow.
While surfing around online, you do run into some interesting things, and I get fascinated by interesting places that are kind of they pop up. And this is a story about a place called the Royston Cave. Have you ever heard of the Royston, Royston?
But I can't remember why.
It's in a rural part of England, and the story goes is a guy was digging up some property to build some benches in an area called Butter Square, and this was years ago. I want to say back in the
80s?
No, this is back in like the 1700s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they found this thing, and what it was covered up with a keystone. And then a guy lowered himself down in there, and it is a bell-shaped cave that's been carved out of chalk stone, and it looks to be like a temple because there are cave drawings all over the inside of it. And to this day, they have an idea and some pretty good evidence of what it was or what it is, but they still don't know for sure. The video I have for you is about 5.5 minutes long.
Excellent.
And it's called Royston Cave, a Medieval Enigma. And it's a small little 5-minute video going through how they found it, what they think it is, and then, of course, they leave it up to you to do a little bit more research to find out if you want to do or dig around anymore. I think it's kind of fascinating. It's pretty quick, and what it'll do is lead you into a bit of a wormhole about the Royston Cave and that area of England, which is also very interesting as well. So that's what I have for you.
All right, cool.
Check it out. Jack will have that up at the What You Do That's New master list for you to take in as well. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Back in a sec with more of the Jim Colbert Show.
What you do that's new, brought to you by Glenn Klossman, KLAUSMANLAW.com. Proudly sponsored since day one by Glenn Klossman, KlossmanLaw.com.
Bye.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Things are moving slowly on I-4 this afternoon in the Orlando area for drivers traveling east and westbound by the major attractions exits. Looking at delays right now in Seminole County due to a crash reported northbound on 1792 at Maitland Avenue. Still looking at some delays as well on the Turnpike near the Osceola Parkway exit. If you see traffic problems, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477.
This report is sponsored by Walt Disney World.jobs.
Ready to be a part of the magic as a cast member at Walt Disney World Resort? We are hiring a variety of full-time and part-time roles with great benefits like theme park admission, exclusive discounts, and more. Apply today at WaltDisneyWorld.jobs.
Man, you want that brand new bathroom you just absolutely been dreaming of? Rebath of Mid-Florida. They're ready to help you out right there in Altamont Springs. The showroom's super easy to find. 436 right across from Kobe. You can't miss them. And when you go in, you're going to see a couple models set up. Actually, about 8 or 9 or 10, I think. And what you're going to see there is not what you're ordering. It's not like I'll take number 5. Those are just to show you configurations of bathroom bathrooms using their products in different styles and ways. What you do is you meet with their design team, you look at their catalog of products, and you guys come up with something perfectly unique for your bathroom, because every bathroom from these guys is a custom bathroom. And how about this? Installation time is 4 to 6 days. I'm not misspeaking, not weeks, not months. It's days, and that includes demo of your old bathroom. Then they get that thing in there and give you a lifetime guarantee on the products and the install. And if you mention the Jim Colbert Show, they'll throw in $800 in free upgrades. Guys, that goes a long way. Upgrade your fixtures, maybe a floating glass door, tile, whatever you want to do. They'll take great care of you. Wonderful people. You're going to love doing business with them. Go to the website, look at the before and afters, then book your appointment, because your new bathroom's right there in Altamont at rebathmidfla.com.
This earful of Rail Radio is sponsored by R.C. Hill Mitsubishi, Highway 1792 in DeLand.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st. T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, streaming live only on Hulu.
Keep listening for your next chance to be there.
Own the moment with the Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses. Wear timeless styles with technology that lets you listen to music, capture pictures and videos, live stream, make a hands-free call or text, and even ask Meta AI questions on the go, all while you stay present in the moment.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Equipment change-outs and upgrades right now with up to $1,275 in rebates. Visit millsair.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. To learn more, visit one of our 10 Orlando Sleep Number stores or visit sleepnumber.com.
I'm John Walzak, host of the new podcast Missing in Arizona.
And I'm Robert Fisher, one of the most wanted men in the world.
We cloned his voice using AI. In 2001,
police say I killed my family and rigged my house to explode
before escaping into the wilderness.
Police believe he is alive.
Join me. I'm going down in the cave as I track down clues.
I'm going to call the police and have you removed.
Hunting.
One of the most dangerous fugitives in the world.
Robert Fisher.
Do you recognize my voice?
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Missing in Arizona.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Big news for veterans and first-time homebuyers. The Hometown Heroes program provides up to $35,000 down payment and closing costs. Get pre-approved at thatmortgageguyDon.com.
With thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Let me tell you a story. I had a client who got injured. He only asked for the insurance company to cover his rent for 3 months. They said no. We ended up getting him $325,000. Just call Mo. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorneys. Prospective client may not obtain the same or similar results.
Jim Colbert here for FAS Windows and Doors. Are your energy costs through the roof? Well, it's time to replace your single-pane aluminum windows with the most energy-efficient option available. Keep the heat outside during the summer and inside during the winter. Too much outside noise getting in? Considering replacing older windows and doors with laminated insulated glass, providing as much as 100% improvement. Keep that noise outside where it belongs. Offering rebates of $100 per window and $200 per door. Also offering 24-month, no money down, no payment, no interest financing. For a completely free in-home consultation, call FAS or visit them online. Trust the leader, FAS.com.
I'm Geraldine Thompson. As state senator, I do not back down. I stand up to protect our voting rights and abortion rights from extremists. As mother and grandmother, I stand up to those who want to take away funds from public schools and put more guns in our streets and classrooms. I'll never stop standing up for you. By August 20th, vote Geraldine Thompson for Florida Senate District 15, political advertisement paid for and approved by Geraldine Thompson, Democrat for State Senate.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisor. Visit TrajanWealth.com.
You can watch radio being made on a daily basis at Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
I understand they're trying to make Orlando more of a day city or have more stuff during the day, but it is going to come off as a hot take. It's never going to happen when you have Universal and Disney, and people are going to go to those first before they're going to go to downtown Orlando.
Jimmy, years ago, when you used to have the poker tournament at the dog track in Daytona, I went one year, being a very novice poker player, and I wasn't at your table, but I forget who was at my table. Somebody from the show was on the table at the time, and I think I lasted about 4 hands and I was out of there. So I vowed never to go to another poker tournament again.
Okay. Sorry about that, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Sour your taste on the game.
All right. 407-916-1041. That's how you call us. Text us easily at 77031. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb is there.
Hello.
Jack is here as well.
I am. By the way, we have 2 poker seats left in our tournament this Saturday.
Ooh.
The auction one ends tonight at 6 p.m., and the final seat ends tomorrow night at 6 p.m. If you want the details or link up, it's on our website, realradio.fm/poker.
Absolutely. Also, we will sell. Is there a final date for the casino passes, Jack? Do they sell them up to the last minute, or what?
Yeah, right until the last minute you can get it. I think
Okay.
Friday that.
Very nice.
Is that. Yeah.
Hope to see everybody there. We'll get there early. Everybody can take a nice picture with us, go inside, enjoy the food from Hard Rock. And I'm really looking forward to it. The auction items is the first place I go to because I can bid on those things as well.
Yeah.
So I go over there and start looking around, see what we got, and then go over there and kind of figure out what the raffles look like and get my tickets into my favorite raffle time.
And real quick, if I can, because I just had more prizes dropped off today that we're going to use in our silent auction item and raffles, and that all that generates money for the Mustard Seed of Central Florida. Shout out to Tom and Lydia Pisano, the LPT Realty, Tito's and Cheese Basket. Also, a bottle of Santo Tequila Blanco. That is Guy Fieri's tequila, and it's signed by him with a picture of him signing it. And another one, Woodson Bourbon, autographed by Rod Woodson, and a picture of him signing that as well.
Yeah, that's a football player, right?
Absolutely.
That's cool.
He's a Raider, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Raider.
Let's go. The autumn wind is a Raider.
Yeah. Very
and
nice.
Orlando City. And Kay, First Lady of Soccer, gave us a soccer prize pack, 4 tickets to an upcoming Orlando City match, and 4 tickets to an Orlando Pride match, a signed ball, and team scarves. It's fantastic. So thank you very much. Very cool.
Yeah, a lot of really cool, unique stuff up there for grabs. So we hope to see you on Saturday night. Again, if you're not playing in the tournament, you can still get yourself a casino pass. That gets you everything but the tournament. That's exactly how you could, in there, food, auctions, all the cool stuff. You just don't play the poker tournament. You still get to play the casino games, craps, roulette, blackjack, all that fun stuff. And we hope to see you out there. It's a great time to raise money for a wonderful cause here in Orlando. That's the Mustard Seed.
Boom.
All right, 407-916-1041. So now both candidates, by the way, are doing this this tax on tips thing.
You mean no tax on tips?
Yeah, the no tax on tips thing. So now I guess both candidates, both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, are doing this. They're doing the no tips for. But have you really looked into what that means and what kind of interesting concepts happen with the no tips for servers?
No.
It really is interesting. NPR has a really interesting article today, or I think this may have been yesterday actually, of why politicians are kind of locking onto this because it sounds good when you say it fast.
Right.
But as they went into more of an accounting perspective of it, what do you think they think the one of the biggest problems that's going to be? There are 3 major issues they have with it. The economists that say it's really kind of a farce, and that's why they call this election time silly season, because candidates will say the most outlandish stuff trying to get attention. Trump came up with this first. Kamala Harris kind of piled on behind him, saying, hey, we're going to do that as well. We'll do it too. But there are 3 things that they say that there's really no way to institute it. For one thing, just to be able to find out who's telling the truth.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody is.
Right. They don't tell the truth now. They're not going to start.
Yeah, and so it used to be like that. When you get tipped, at least when I did it, and this was 30 years ago, you basically had your credit card bill, and then you had your cash tips, right? So what was tipped on credit card, and then they would look at your sales. What you declare your tips at the end of the shift.
Yes.
And it has to be a certain percent of
within reason, right? Like 20%, something like that.
8 or 10% at the time. 8 or 10% of your sales.
Oh, I got you.
Right.
Yes.
So you at least had to hit that number. They knew exactly what you got through credit card tips. So as long as it was just a little more than that to cover the difference.
Cash tips are the ones that are a little bit more questionable because it's up to you to say what they gave you.
Exactly.
I was going to say, when were you getting credit card tips?
When he was at CJ's.
Early 90s, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, I don't ever remember getting a credit card tip when I was a waitress at Mark's Big Boy.
Yeah. Nice.
I like that. Yeah. Roller skates?
Yeah.
Draw that picture.
Also the chicken takeout counter with
Very
my
nice.
white hairnet. But
Very nice.
it was all cash.
Yeah,
and at the end of the night, it was just like, how much tips did you make? And
here's what I've heard. I've always heard that people who work professionally for tips, they pretty much are performers for tips. I've always heard that I've heard that like 11 to 13% is a safe number to not get you audited.
Right.
Like it would, like if you made $150,000 a year playing music around town or doing whatever you do, that it would be more that, about 11 to 13% is what you're actually paying. Even though that puts you in a much higher tax bracket, it's virtually impossible to audit a tip jar that's sitting in front of you while you're playing guitar for 6 hours, and it just happens to be at a really nice bar where you're making $300 to $500 a shift doing that. I mean, they can say, hey, look, I made $250. And they can claim whatever they want. Obviously the credit card tells a different story.
Whenever you come up with an idea that benefits one group of people, someone else is going to cry foul.
Right, yeah.
So Texter just said, hey, no tax on tips. They said they know some people, some tipped employees who make more than teachers. And, they say, why should they get a break?
Yeah, I mean, again, teachers, we hear the argument with teachers a lot. It's a weird take.
Well, it's not about it's just saying there's some tipped employees that do very well.
Yeah.
I think is what they're claiming.
like a Ruth's Chris waiter
or strippers. You can break this down into a lot of things, guys. It doesn't have to be just, hey, I'm a teenage boy who delivers, steaks to the tables. I mean, strippers are also do that. I mean, there's a bunch of people who work for tips. Guys who valet park out of the attraction areas kill it. Matter of fact, I will tell you, I know a businessman today that would tell you that they had to make a legitimate family decision to stop parking cars at one of the fancy hotels to go on business for themselves. They were making so much money just parking cars, but they didn't see a future in it. The only reason they left is because they didn't see themselves doing that at 55 years old, making wonderful money.
Yeah,
doing that. But there's plenty of cash out there. But one of the other issues is the equity issue, which is saying this: a national ban on taxing tips would disproportionately benefit, for example, a South Carolina server who earns a reduced minimum wage but makes a large portion of their income through tips. Where in California, however, you're making a much bigger salary and tips make up a smaller portion of your total income. That person would benefit less from this program. But one of the other things that really makes it very insidious and interesting is this. Have you heard the other loophole? You made that sound because that's the sound you make when you hear this.
Yeah, because the last one I think is like, tough toenails. So you get in California, you get more of a base salary, so that's more of a guaranteed income.
It evens out, right? Yeah, sure, and that's understood.
Yeah.
The big one that kills me that I really never considered, and again, I don't think like a criminal, so I don't really think like this. And I'm not saying all these things would be criminal, but they were to say, well, what's to stop an investment banker to say, well, you know what? I don't really get a salary anymore. I make $100,000 on the books, but the company tips me $35 million for my services. Or let's say I'm a CEO and I want to avoid paying taxes on my salary. I can deem a certain portion of my salary and then set it up where the company tips me or somebody tips me that amount. Therefore, I don't have to claim taxes on the tipped amount. So
maybe it's for only people making less than $100,000 a year.
They tried to do that with the salary thing, but I don't think it works that way. They said that you can't really stage it like that because of the way that the tax laws are created from state to state. No tax on tips would be extremely difficult to efficiently administer, regulate, and oversee. How are we going to tell who's receiving a tip and when that tip crosses the line into wages? How will we prevent investment bankers from getting tips? And if we impose income limits, wouldn't we expect low-paid workers to just demand a tip rather than compensation? In other words, it would be at that point how that money come to you is deemed. Mm-hmm. I'm not paying you, but if you work for 8 hours, I'm going to tip you $500. I don't know how that would play. That sounds crazy because if you get benefits, there's no way you could do that with benefits, I guess. Said it would distort the labor market dramatically. And the biggest barrier for Congress is the money they'd lose because this would be a killer of revenue for the country.
And incredibly complicated to work out.
It says the revenue on this proposal to exempt tips from taxation is something like, how much do you think it would cost the federal government over a 10-year period, they estimate?
$2 trillion.
Oh, wow.
What's your guess, buddy?
Well, I was going to go a lot less.
I knew you were.
But then I saw the face that
eyes.
he made.
Not so bad.
Yeah, $2 trillion and one.
Oh, I got shot.
You did not. It's a couple $100 billion.
Okay.
That's more reasonable.
$200 billion in revenue over a 10-year period for that little campaign promise that they spit out there without anything to back it up.
That's why it's silly season.
That's right. Interesting. Said the underlying policy basis is pretty weak when it comes to this, and you can see them probably backing off of these statements as they move forward because they're never going to be able to institute this. Like they said, Congress would never pass something that would cost the country $200 billion over a 10-year period.
Let's just make sure that we perfect that plan that makes it as easy for us to opt out of something as easy it is to sign up. And I know they're working on the canceling subscription thing. That's take care of that.
Yeah. And by the way, that's one thing I think is like the greatest. That's the thing right now. I wish, and I have that story to pull to talk about. But what she's talking about is right now the federal government is investigating ways to make companies make it as easy to unsubscribe as it is to subscribe. Because there is zero question, by the way, that companies they make it. I don't care how reputable you think the company is. They all do it.
They bury it.
They do.
You can't do it on the phone app. You got to go to you got to go to the website.
You got to call somebody, or you don't even call anybody. You can't get anything. Look, man, it's a joke. Like that is like when you look at even companies you like. That is one of the most nefarious things happening right now to consumers. In regards to these subscriptions, you go one step. You can click and do that in one step so fast. You can do it by accident. You could subscribe by accident. But to get out of that subscription, I've been trying for 4 years with Apple.
Really?
I'm joking, but it's that whole thing where it took me forever to get through to find out how to get that $2.99 a month off my bill. It was a nightmare. I basically had to call the bank to get that done. I could not even figure out how to do it through Apple's processes. It was a joke.
I'm still paying PBS for Deb's cat video.
But at least you have 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You like NPR and cats. You have 3.
Are you still? How old are your cats?
They're kittens.
Oh, they just are new?
A couple years.
Yeah, okay.
We've had them a couple years.
I thought you had one that you hated. What's that one that eats your bed?
Bingo.
Is it Bingo?
It's one of them.
Yeah, okay.
I don't even know.
They don't eat. They just sit underneath it and they pull from the center of the mattress where they know that you can't reach until they see the Swiffer.
Yeah, right.
Swiffer is your friend. Swiffer's your friend.
We thought our dogs would hate the Roomba. They don't even bother with it now.
Really?
They went up there. My son's dog's like a 65-pound Staffordshire Terrier, and he walks over there and he gives it the old RCA Victor look.
Right.
And he tilts his head and his ears go up a little bit, and he's like, nah, that doesn't look fun.
I'd get one just to watch my cats ride it.
Oh, yeah.
If they would.
They don't like it. I heard cats don't like it.
I heard they don't as well, but you see some pretty cool videos on the gram of them riding the Roomba.
Yeah. By the way, nothing will bring you back to life like your Roomba firing up when you don't expect it to. Nothing in the world. Like if you're a little drowsy, and let's say you're watching TV on the couch, you're kind of going through social media, and you're like, and that thing kicks on, you're going to hover for a few minutes.
Right.
Yes, it does not sneak into its mode.
What does it sound?
And then it starts going. Then it's vacuum and it's backing in and out the stuff and sucking stuff up. They're amazing, though, but when that thing launches, it is no joke, and it's a little louder than you think it is, too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Somebody said it's not always online products, even gymnasiums. Like when you join gyms, it's hard.
Big time.
It's hard to get out of them.
Yeah, you have to come in person, submit it in writing. Yeah.
It's kind of like that commercial where they snarkily asked, "Did you bring a birth certificate?"
Right.
And he said no.
How many things do you subscribe to?
Too many.
So other than your TV stuff and
bunch of streaming services.
Yeah.
Subscriptions to newspapers.
Oh, really? You still have those?
Well, like the Sentinel.
Yeah.
I've got to make sure I don't have the New York Times. So I really need to get those apps. I know Credit Karma is one that Candace Rich used to say was really good for finding. You see the ad all the time for Rocket Money that it will go through and find subscriptions that you don't want anymore and cancel them for you.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, I can't even imagine how many I have that I don't even know about anymore.
That's what worries me because that's money going out the door.
I can't imagine. I mean, I know I get that Apple one for $2.99, and it's for cloud services, but then my phone tells me I haven't updated to the cloud in like 2 years.
Jack is so good about
riding the lightning, baby, riding the lightning.
So good about setting reminders to cancel stuff.
I try to, but I get 2 from Apple. It's like, your Apple card was just charged $9.99. I'm like, all right, I guess that's for
data storage.
Data storage,
right?
And then a couple days, your Apple card was just like charged for $8.99. I'm like, well, what's that for?
Right,
I go look
exactly.
Apple TV. I'm like, I'm not even watching that.
I don't even watch it either.
Somebody-
we legit watch Hulu and Netflix. I do have the others. We never go to them.
Yeah.
We never watch them.
I know, but then someone will, assign something for what to do that's new that requires Paramount.
Right. I have Max, I have Paramount, and I have Apple TV, and I have not watched a show on any of those things. I do watch Amazon Prime occasionally, which we have as well.
You can watch Sunny on Apple TV, and it's like, it's like, all right, I'm not watching anything on Apple. Then we start watching Sunny. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's gonna end, and then it's like, you get the FOMO, right?
Yes, exactly.
Something's gonna come out, and it's gonna be on that. Like, I haven't watched Max in a while, but I know usually that has the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I end up watching most of my stuff is either like, over-the-air broadcast TV or Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, somebody just texted us and say they were paying Grubhub $9.99 a month for a year. Didn't even know they'd signed up for it.
So is that? But you still have to tip the delivery driver and pay for the delivery, right?
Oh, that's different. That's like for you to be able to get a discount after so many orders. There's like Grubhub. It's just like most of
like
the
a club,
like a membership
Club Grubhub.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Club Grub.
Okay, hit me again with that now. Why would I be a member of Grubhub when it's
so that when you order, if you order certain times, if you order like 3 or 4 times a month, you'd get a discount on your order, whereas someone who doesn't use Grubhub very often would not get that discount. But it's going to cost you $9.99 a month.
Okay, so the discounts obviously have to be worth more than $9.99 a month to make it valuable, right?
Which is why I've never signed up for it.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, they make it so easy, the slip of a finger, and you've signed up for something and didn't realize it. But then when you go to try to cancel it, it's jumping more through hoops
Do
than
you
the
accept
Olympic
all
rings.
cookies?
What?
Do you accept all cookies?
Depends.
I
just accept all
I
cookies.
used to say no all the time. I used to click no, click no, click no, click no. And here recently, I'm just like, just beat me. Just beat me so I can go to bed. Please, just get it over with. Yes, I accept your GD cookies. What else? What else do you want? Jesus, what else do you want? It's like having a teenage daughter. What else? What else can I do for you? All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Maine has passed a new interesting law. I'll tell you all about that here in just 1 second.
All aboard for Real Yacht Rock Weekends. Every weekend this summer on Real Radio 104.1.
This weather report is brought to you by Mills Air.
Good afternoon. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner with your Fox 35 Central Florida forecast. And today it'll be hot, the high 95 degrees in Orlando. It'll feel like 107, so take it easy out there. We've got a 30 to 40% chance for a couple of afternoon thunderstorms with lots of lightning. Otherwise, we'll see a higher rain chance tomorrow and especially Thursday before a brief break in the rain for Friday and Saturday with some drier air rolling into the region. But it's only brief with more storms on the way for next week. From the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Brooks Garner.
This report is sponsored by Direct Auto. Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. With a super low down payment, you can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com. Down payments vary, does not mean savings. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Guys, listen up, man. If you have plans to sell your home for any reason, hit pause and learn about the Nickley Group and do it quick, man. These rates are lower than they've been in a year. It is time to make your move, and these guys are changing the game so that you can make as much money as quickly as possible, and you can do that with the Nickley Group. Stress-free, innovative solutions for everybody out there, sellers and buyers. And don't believe the hype that the market here is softening. That's not the case, man. Orlando homes are selling for record prices still. So if you're considering selling your home for any reason, downsizing, relocating, just looking for a bigger home, contact these guys, especially now that these rates are lower, because not only does the Nickley Group sell homes on average for 6% more, they sell them twice as fast as well. More money in your pocket faster. And online, you can do so much stuff with their website. Get your home valued instantly, get a guaranteed cash offer on your home, or list your home. Do all that at thenickleyGroup.com. 3,000 5-star reviews. The reputation in the business is solid as a rock. And if you're looking for that next level real estate experience, mortgage services, moving assistance, marketing, and an entire team of realtors working for you, You got to get with the Nickley Group. That's the NickleyGroup.com. NICKLEY Group.com.
Need a break from the dog days of summer? Relief from high interest rates, high prices, and even higher temperatures? International Diamond Center is here to help with lower prices, free financing, and a free romantic getaway. It's IDC's Summer of Savings event going on now through August 31st. Special pricing across the board on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, designer fashion jewelry, colored gemstone jewelry, and incredible Swiss watches. Make any qualifying purchase now and IDC will give you 24 months zero interest financing, plus a free romantic dinner and a 3-night luxury getaway to places like Las Vegas, Miami, Nashville, or the cool Smoky Mountains. We've even got a 4-night Caribbean cruise. So instead of sizzling in the heat, put some sizzle in your relationship. Get the guaranteed best value price, free dinner, a free vacation, and free 24 months no interest financing. Now through the end of August only, and only at International Diamond Center. 4 Orlando area locations. Minimum purchase required on approved credit. See store for details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. Call A1 Garage Door Service today.
A1 from day one.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine.
If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
In Office Orlando.
With 3 generations and over 45 years of Florida experience, Handyman Roofing knows storms and hurricanes. We know how to evaluate storm-damaged roofs and not cause more damage. Handyman Roofing has the expertise to get your roof done. Plus, easy financing in case your insurance company is dragging its feet. With multiple emergency response teams ready, Handyman Roofing will be by your side now when you need it the most.
Knows how to get things done. Count on Handyman Roofing to get it done. Handyman Roofing to get it done.
This earful of Rail Radio is sponsored by RC Hill Mitsubishi, Highway 1792 in DeLand.
Real Radio is on Instagram at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube. Subscribe and watch.
The no tax on tips thing seems interesting and like a good idea, but it doesn't really make that much sense from an equity standpoint between workers, right? So, if you have 2 workers, both making $30K a year, one of them gets tips of $15K, then they're really only paying taxes on $15K of income, even though they're making the same $30K as the other salaried employee. they're both in the same tax bracket, but you're giving one set of workers a big break.
There is a show on Max or Paramount Plus or Prime. I don't know. I have them all linked together.
You named them all.
It's called Troppo, Troppo. Killer murder mystery show.
Really?
Set in Australia.
Really?
Pretty fun.
Okay.
Feel like you guys would get a kick
All
out
right,
of
buddy.
it.
I'm making a note. All right, Troppo. Is that what he said, guys?
It is. Troppo. They just finished their second season. It has Thomas Jane in it. He's been in some
the guy
stuff.
from the he was the Punisher.
All right.
Yeah, wasn't he was the original Punisher, Thomas Jane, right? The one that had the movie that had John Travolta in it as the bad guy? No?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm right there. All right, 407.
Sure, let's go with that. Deb, you want to lean in on that one?
1041. Text us at 77.
Good job, buddy.
0301. I am Jim. There's Deb.
Yo.
Jack is here as well.
I am.
Somebody sent something earlier. I just wanted to talk about it. I forgot what it was.
Yeah,
we were talking about something earlier, and I wanted to go over it before I got to this one story, and I can now not remember exactly what. Oh,
the Grubhub thing with the.
No. It was this. Deb had mentioned this before the show, and I feel like it's like a service announcement. You should.
The do not drive.
Yeah, the do not drive thing. Do you have that list of vehicles?
I do.
Ford Motor Company issued a do not drive for some of their older vehicles. I just read the story. It said they made 121 million attempts to contact the people who own these vehicles via email, via phone calls, text, every way they had to let them know. And it's because of the Takata airbags.
Yeah. They issued a do not drive advisory for over 765,000 cars and trucks, almost half of which are in the U.S. Other models include the Ranger, Fusion, Edge, and Lincoln MKZ. This is the second kind of advisory by Ford. The company says more than 374,000 vehicles need to be fixed immediately.
Well, where's this Takata guy? And what's he doing today? I want to know.
Yeah, this has been a scourge to
For
the American
over 10
car
years.
for the American car industry. Hundreds of thousands of cars, millions of cars have been recalled because of these. Because when they go off, there's a possibility that they'll have some sharp-edged or projectile shrapnel that comes out of there. And I don't know if you've ever seen an airbag go off. It is not, it'll save your life, but it's not pleasant. I mean, it's basically a shotgun shell, if I can understand that. It's basically a small explosion that inflates its thing in a microsecond, and it comes out with some incredible force. And of course, it will save your life, but it'll also F you up as well.
Well, it hopefully will save your life, but if you're a smaller statured woman who's
face is like head high with a dash.
Your neck, your internal organs is going to be close. You're going to be sitting closer to the steering wheel than you would if you were 6 foot whatever.
Right.
Because again, there was a case in Orlando of a woman who was killed by her Takata airbag, and troopers first thought that she was the victim of a road rage because there was so much damage. Because it was basically shrapnel. And it hit her in the neck.
Wow.
And so they at first did not suspect it was her airbag, but then they went, okay, she was one of the first 2 deaths. There was another case in Florida of someone losing an eye.
Oh, really? Yeah.
When their Takata airbag went off.
I've heard of a child that got that was killed because they put the child in the front seat.
Which you're never supposed to do.
In a car seat facing forward. And, of course, there was an impact. The airbag came out and I think broke the child's neck.
Ugh.
Yeah, you're never, ever supposed to put a child under a certain weight in the front seat. They're always supposed to ride in the back, and it's because of the danger of the airbags.
Yeah. I want it to be more like a marshmallow, not like a rock hard, like Jupiter jump that's full of fat kids. Things get the space tension, ting ting. It's got that tension. It's so hard. It's so full of air, like an overblown tire. That's another dangerous thing too. Did you see that out of Tampa like 2 days ago?
No,
dude, you would never think in a million years that a tire shop would be so dangerous. But now they have this, when you start pumping about, I don't know what the pressure is for a tractor trailer tire.
No.
But when you pull those things apart, they have like a cage thing now that you have to put the tire in and you lower this cage over it. Then you do the work on the tire. Because if that thing blows, I mean, there are videos that are awful. I mean, I don't suggest you watch them, but tire shops in South America where safety isn't the number one concern. And, they're over there blowing a tractor trailer tire up like, a couple hundred PSI or whatever it is.
How is that not made the list yet for What'd You Do That's New?
Oh.
Jim's South American Tire Shop video.
Wait for it, Jack. It's coming sometime in September.
Guys, it's so brutal. This thing goes off. This kid, I mean, I say this guy was probably, I don't know, 5'10", 160 pounds. And 1 second he's in the shot, and then the other second he is not in the shot. That tire shot his ass across an 80-foot shop in Sao Paulo.
And, it's interesting, too, talking about those Takata airbags. The last time we had talked about, which I had just recently learned, had no idea till I saw some things on social media from emergency room doctors saying, yeah, you're never going to want to be a passenger with your feet up on the dash.
Oh, God, I saw a video of that the other day.
So when we were talking about that,
you have a weird
algorithm.
Yeah, one of my algorithms is really weird.
But someone had texted us here at 77031 and said there was a young woman who had bedazzled her steering wheel. Said that, like an EMT who had been in a war zone, said he had seen grenades do less damage.
Get out of here!
A listener texted that a young woman bedazzled her steering wheel, got into an accident, and all that bedazzle.
The middle part.
The middle part.
Oh, it's like a Claymore mine.
Not knowing, right? Because you're not thinking that stuff's going to blow off into your face when you're in an accident. Just like when you don't think putting your feet up on the dash is all that dangerous until you see some X-rays, and then you're like, "No, I'm never doing that."
I saw one happen live. There was a guy. It was it was a video camera of a trucker, and he had a passenger riding with him. A guy had his up on the dash. The airbag goes off, and this dude's leg, you could tell his hip just basically separated in half, and his leg just flopped over when the thing hit it because it broke it so quickly, so quickly, so efficiently. So powerful, incredible.
Yeah.
A lot of people are texting. They want to know if you have more information on what Ford vehicles are the ones that they're warning not to drive, or where to get that info.
Let's see. I just have, again, that models include Ranger, Fusion, Edge, Lincoln, MKZ, but it also includes the Mustang.
Yeah, there are Mustangs, but it's specific years as well, guys.
I would go to the Ford website.
Yeah, you can look up to see if there's recalls on your
recalls.
specific vehicle. Yeah. I just got a recall notice on my car.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Tori had one on, we got one on a couple of them on the Mach-E.
Yeah. I was wondering with the first year of a new car if it would, but it's so minor.
What is it?
It's the case.
Like some kind of.
It's the case for the backup camera.
Oh God, really?
Wow.
Because if it could take on water.
I guess.
And then stop working.
Yes.
And then when you back up, you might hit something backing up if you don't have the camera.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
I'm like, I could turn my head around like I used to.
Like we all did. By the way, if you go to NHTSA, so it's the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA.gov, they have a consumer alert. Ford, Mazda issue do not drive warnings for more than 457,000 vehicles with recalled Takata airbags. And then they run down the list by dealer. Ford, Mazda. So that's a good place to go. And even just call your dealership and ask. I mean, it's not.
It's 04 through 06 Rangers, 05 through 2014 Ford Mustangs, 2005 through 2000. Nobody has a Ford GT in our audience. Passenger airfreight.
You don't know.
2006 to 2012 Ford Fusion, Mercury Milan, Lincoln MKZs. 2007 through 2010 Ford Edge and Lincoln MKXs, and 2007 through 2011 Ford Ranger trucks as well. Like Deb said, the National Travel Safety Board will have that up there, and you can see all of them. You can also go to Ford.com. They have them there as well.
Okay, I'm going to just be the dumb one in the room.
Yeah.
What are the numbers before? So when they give the 2004 to 2006 Ranger, those aren't...
That's the year.
Okay.
In other words, those years are affected with those bags.
But the 17V787, what's that?
I do not know what that is.
Okay.
That could be the...
that's the Part 573 Safety Recall Report.
Right,
so you definitely want to click on that. Again, NHTSA.gov, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, for all that information.
Yep.
We're doing the Lord's work.
Real quick before we go to break, I want to ask you, have you guys ever been stiffed wages by an employer?
Yeah, my first job.
Your first job?
My first job, I worked 2 weeks at a Subway shop making sandwiches and learning how to make malts. Only the day before payday, that POS telling me that because I wasn't 16, they couldn't pay me.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
And that they didn't know, even though they knew. I told them I was 15.
Okay, gotcha there. Jack, you ever been denied wages?
Me, not that I recall.
I did one time in my life when I was really young. I worked for a print shop guy, and he held a paycheck of mine because he claimed I did something I didn't do. But in Maine, they've changed the rules here. So it's very interesting what they're doing up there. I don't know if that's going to make it nationwide, but stay tuned. I'll tell you what that is.
Smell that? It's almost football season. Hear the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all season here on Real Radio 104.1, courtesy of Renewal by Anderson, official partner of the Tampa Bay Bucks.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Looking at delays this afternoon on I-4 in the Orlando area for those taking the interstate east and westbound by the major attractions exits and through downtown. Looking at delays right now on the 408 westbound due to a crash partially blocking the on-ramp from Orange Blossom Trail. If you see other traffic problems, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Direct Auto. Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. With a super low down payment, you can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com. Down payments vary, does not mean savings. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Still think you can't afford to buy a new home? Well, help is here. The Florida Hometown Heroes program for down payment assistance gives all eligible first-time homebuyers, or if you haven't owned a home for the past 3 years, and all veterans and active duty military to be eligible for down payment assistance funds up to $35,000. This is not a scam, and you can find out today if you're eligible for this money by starting your pre-approval application at thatmortgageguydon.com. Do not wait too long. Last year, the $100 million program was funded in July, and the money was gone by December. This year, it'll run out even sooner. So get started now at thatmortgageguydon.com.
Don't miss the boat, compare your quote with thatmortgageguydon.com.
This is trial attorney Jeff Kaufman from the injury law firm of Kaufman Lind. After 20 years of practicing law and being responsible for thousands of people who've lost their jobs, their financial freedom, and even their lives, I believe when trying to decide on an attorney, you should ask yourself 3 things. How long have they been in business? Do they have good reviews? And do they actually care? Hopefully you never need us, but if you do, call us at 407-500-JEFF. That's 407-500-5333. Or visit us at whenyouneedus.com. Offices, Orlando.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Equipment change outs and upgrades right now with up to $1,275 in rebates. Visit millsair.com.
Sunnyside Air Conditioning.
Oh, hi. My air conditioner is blowing hot.
For air conditioners making a funny noise, press 1.
No, it's...
Try to listen to the whole message before making a selection.
Sorry.
For air conditioners blowing cold, but not quite cold enough, press 2.
No, it's blowing hot.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Well, can we speed this up?
Don't get grumpy with me, or I'll take you back to the main menu.
No, anything but that. Please don't send me back to the main menu.
Fine, but I'm watching you.
Bet if I'd called Frank Gay, I'd already be getting my problem solved.
But you didn't call Frank Gay. So, what do we do now?
I'm calling Frank Gay.
When your air conditioner is blowing hot, you need a solution now. A helpful operator to guide you, all your options explained, and your problem fixed fast. That's the Frank Gay way.
If you're ready to pull your hair out, press 7.
Ah! That's the Frank Gay way.
FrankGayServices.com.
I'm John Walzak, host of the new podcast Missing in Arizona.
And I'm Robert Fisher, one of the most wanted men in the world.
We cloned his voice using AI. In 2001,
police say I killed my family and rigged my house to explode
before escaping into the wilderness.
Police believe he is alive.
Join me. I'm going down in the cave as I track down clues.
I'm going to call the police and have you removed.
Hunting.
One of the most dangerous fugitives in the world.
Robert Fisher.
Do you recognize my voice?
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Missing in Arizona.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video is priceless. I'm attorney Mo DeWitt, and we have access to every single traffic camera in the state of Florida. Injured on the go, just call Mo, Orlando's injury attorneys.
It's the Marketer's Report.
Today, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, explains how audio is an ideal way for brands to tell their stories.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. I think that there's something deep in all of us that enjoys listening to and telling stories. When I think about what we do here at Genentech, we do a lot to actually tell the broader story of our company and the legacy that we stand upon. 45 years marketing more than 40 medicines over that time period. And we celebrate that in story form, in audio format. It's a great way for people to learn more about what we offer and to be educated in an easy and convenient way.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company. iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Look to Orange Buick GMC for your next truck at orangebuickgmc.com. We are professional grade.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because your case matters. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Yeah! Text the nationwide keyword LUCKY to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's LUCKY to 200-200.
At work, just pretend you're on a Zoom call with us. The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube. Subscribe and watch.
I had a friend who worked in a tire shop years and years ago. He was putting a tire on a rim. It went pop, broke his nose, sent him for a loop, and it just bothered him for years, 2 years. And all the doctors said, "You're just fine. You just got hit." 2 years later, he accidentally popped his jaw back into place. It had been dislocated the entire time. Tire shop's dangerous.
Yeah, really dangerous.
I am terrified of anything to do with my tires.
Oh, yeah.
I'll fill them up with air, but I am terrified of
air pressure is horrifying. Even just pumping up the tires on my dolly around my house, I was like, man, this thing gives way. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but
You just never know.
You never know. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Welcome back. I am Jim. Deb is here.
Hello.
And Jack is as well. Ah! You did that yesterday, and I still don't get it.
Just saying I'm here.
So back to school is here. I got a funny thing. I'll tell you this little thing about Maine. I'll pay this off real quick. It's not that big of a deal, but it is interesting. So what Maine is doing this, and by the way, our question of the day is if you've ever been stiffed by an employer, you can go to our
Jim Colbert Live, our video feed on YouTube. So you go to YouTube, you search Jim Colbert Show, boom, we're there. You watch us, you talk about us in the poll.
There you go.
Talk about whatever you want. Talk about sexy feet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people
is that what happens in the chat? They talk about stuff like that. Do they
going
even
on right now?
Do they even talk about the show at all?
Let me tell you, Alicia doesn't think sexy feet exist. I say she's never seen my feet.
Yeah, feet are. I don't know about guys' feet being sexy. That's not a thing that you look at for dudes, right, Deb? For sexiness. I'm as a woman, I'm just saying, I'm not, but do you find are feet something that you look at and go, wow, man, that's sexy?
Well, feet are going to be something that I'm going to look at to see if my sheets and or legs are going to be shredded at night. So, cleanliness, if they're, it says a lot.
Yeah, I understand that, but do they have to be? Do they have to be pretty?
No, because it's different. Women paint their toenails. We'll wear toe rings. We wear 4-inch heels. You do all those things to accentuate your feet.
Yeah. Would you get equally creeped out if a man had feet that were too taken care of?
No, because chances are that means he has money.
Okay.
No, I'm not kidding. Men with money get manicures and pedicures because they recognize what that means when you stretch that hand out or when you take that foot in a sandal and you're sitting next to someone who's going to do a $2 million deal with you and you look like you don't have your hygiene. under wraps, then they're not going to want to do business with you.
And that foot hygiene's a tell. I got to tell you.
It is.
Well, with women, I believe it's unfair because you guys get judged immediately about how well you take care of your nails on your hands and stuff like that.
They're jewels, not tools.
We don't have to worry about that because my hands can be a wreck, and no woman's going to go, my God, this guy's hands. I mean, I think for a lot of women, having like rough hands for a guy is sexy, right?
It depends. It depends on what income bracket she's looking at.
Really? God dang, man.
It's no different than not having tan skin. What did not having tan skin mean?
Oh, yeah. It means you're not working.
It means you're not working outside.
Yeah, not in the field, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's only in modern days where having tan skin was something that was considered, people called blue bloods for a reason. So it depends. It really does.
I think I have good-looking feet for a dude.
Yeah, I think both of you guys do.
You've seen my feet?
Yeah, when we stayed at Margaritaville and you guys were dipping in the pool.
Yeah, you took a peek, didn't you?
You looked at our feet and you remember it 2 years later?
Yeah, she likes. She remembers everything.
Not really.
Jack,
I'm observant.
I decorate mine.
You do? You really?
Yeah,
You paint your toenails?
Not my toenails, but I put googly eyes on my calluses. Like I got a corn with, and when I move it around, the eyes go.
Now, I really thought he was going to talk about cranking out a toe ring.
Jack says his toes look like they're on flocka. just absolutely bugging the F out like every 5 seconds. Never done that. But I think I do have pretty good feet. My feet aren't mauled up. And as long as I keep my toenails trimmed, and that's a coin flip. Because
that's all right.
Because I have those thick ass toenails when
they
grow.
Get thicker when you grow. But you know what really keeps your feet soft?
Hold on real quick. I mean, so thick, not gross thick, but my trimmers I can barely get the nail into my trimmers.
Listen, you've got thick toenails when before you get started, you got to go to the dog park. Because you need to find a stick to bite. You get a couple of strange looks when people are like, no, dog. Nope, just need the stick.
Yeah, you just need the stick.
I just got to have something to bite down on, y'all.
Did you get pedicures?
I finally did.
It's the greatest.
One time, and it was, I loved it.
I'm going this weekend to get one because I haven't had one in a while. And here's the thing. It's not like I get them. This will be the first one I've had this year. But man, when your heels get so gross, like if I get an itch on my leg, I can scratch it with my callus from my ankle or my heel because it's so damn rough.
Put googly eyes on it, then you and Jack will match.
Yeah. I can get you some.
You can shake with his corn.
I'm not putting flocka eyes on my feet. That ain't happening.
Flocka eyes on my feet.
Do you
Come
shave
on.
them, Jack? Do you shave your feet? Do you have that little tuft of hair on the top of your feet?
Yes, I do.
Do you shave that?
I don't shave that. I have a pumice stone. I do. I work. I work the
tennis shoes. Tennis shoes make a big difference. If you wear a lot of flip flops, a lot of open shoes, then your feet are going to dry out a lot faster and they're going to feel a lot more callousy. But if you wear tennis shoes, it tends to keep your heels soft.
Mm-hmm. Rollins from the morning show's got a thing for feet, and he said if a woman doesn't take care of her feet, chances are she doesn't take care of something else.
Well,
I don't know if there's a correlation or not, but and of all the things that Kat has said over the years, that's the one thing I'm like, yeah, maybe onto something there. But
Latinas,
you may have snuck up on something on that one.
Latinas, you're taught to pay attention to your hair and your nails.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that makes sense.
That's what your husband's going to.
But can I tell you, most of the time you see Latino women out, they're not like basic as white girls who go out in their pajama pants and a Who Farted t-shirt.
No, that would be me.
With their hair up in the bun, and they'll walk into like a store like that. Man, when you see Latino women out, they look good all the time. Hair done, makeup up, ready to roll.
That's how.
All the time.
That's how they're going.
I heard a weird rumor this weekend about the Latina culture when it comes to men.
All right.
And I don't know how true this is. I know that you are of Latina descent.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that right? Latina or is it Latin?
I've always heard that Latina is used for when you're Latin American.
Got it. Okay.
If your family's from Latin America.
So this is a rumor. This is a bit salacious. And again, it was just something I heard. That's so funny. Jack wasn't paying attention. All of a sudden it says salacious.
I know. I saw it in my peripheral vision.
He was like, hey.
Whoop. He whipped right around.
So what do you got to say?
Okay. So listen. So I heard this from someone who says that it's more prevalent than you think. That in some Latino cultures, that the men in the culture will have a side.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Oh,
a side dude, because in that culture, from what I understand, for what this person said, is that if you are a guy and you receive an act from a male, it isn't considered cheating. And then it's not only not common to the point where it's common, but common enough where it's known, and that the women in those relationships kind of know it's happening and it's not really spoken about. Have you ever heard that?
I have not heard that about a man having another man as a side piece, but it's nothing to hear women maybe talk about maybe children that were born that.
Right.
I mean, I've heard of fathers who, as their sons come of age, they take them to Cuba.
Oh, really? Really? Wow.
Lose their virginity there.
The guy with another guy's side piece sounds like a bi guy who got caught.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is
And
not...
This was not a Latino who told me
he
this.
was spinning a tail.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, we all do it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, everybody does it.
Because it's not cheating.
Yeah. But that was the whole thing. Like, it's not cheating. And as long as they don't do anything back to the person in that context of what they're trying to achieve, that isn't a stereotypical cheating in a relationship between a man and a woman. It sounded outlandish to me.
It is outlandish because, I mean, you've seen it with, the Latino men, they get a lot of...
But we heard that with the rapper scene, too, with dudes like...
But with the rapper scene, it's different. They get so much pee thrown at them. There's so much sex that after a while, you need to amp your game up,
Really?
right?
I don't know that you can throw that much at
that's
me. I don't think you can give me enough pee to turn me into a bee.
Well,
I don't think you could do that. Like, I don't understand
that's
that concept. I've heard that concept. I've actually said that before. But when you sit and think about it, I'm like, okay, so it's so easy to get women that you think, well, how about a dude? That doesn't make any sense.
Unless you have the proclivity to begin with, I have never heard of Latin men having another man on the side. That
Interesting.
is...
But I would think that the woman, because one of the things with the Latino women is that they're so fiery and that they keep their man on lock. Like, so that's one of the reasons I'm like, okay, well, I can see it. I can't imagine.
She tries to keep her man on lock.
I can't imagine a Latino woman like allowing their man being cool, even as an understood thing that everybody had spoken about, that it would be fine for them to go out and have an extramarital affair and then come back and everything just never get spoken about.
Well, you have to remember, a lot of this for me would be generational, right? When the women didn't have, I mean, like my grandfather, when my mom said she wanted to become a translator for the UN, my grandfather was like, what the hell are you going to do with a college degree? Hang it in your kitchen. Because that's the idea.
So
your
outlandish.
job is to be a wife and a mother.
Right,
that's what you are learning to do. So without that economic power, right? What are you going to say to the guy who brings home the money? You're going to say, get your ass out?
Oh, no. You're not going to do
You didn't have the economic ability. You just had to learn to turn a blind eye.
You had no rights either. I mean, you really didn't have any rights. I mean, the world
today could be different.
Yeah, it's pretty much against you all the ways.
But I like in this business, I wouldn't want to be married to a Latino in this business.
Guy says,
oh, no, you can't read that one.
He says, I think Cuban guys will do anything that walks in front of them. This is coming from a Puerto Rican. But I don't think I can say that word right there. The one that cowboy sent over? I can't say that, right?
Hey, let me look for that one. Probably not.
We call them that one right there. I can't say that word, right?
I wouldn't. Yeah, no.
But does that word even have an actual meaning?
Yeah.
But what is it, though? Because my wife told me about that word back in the day because she said out in the warehouse that guys,
they use it all the
would
time.
call themselves that. But if you went back there as a regular straight up Apopka white guy and said that word to one of those dudes, you'd be in a knife fight in about a second.
Oh, without a doubt. It means a gay slur.
Oh, really? That's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031.
I like Jack's little...
I looked it up. It's got a variety of meanings.
A lot of them do.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said that it could mean a bunch of different things, like the F word to us. It could take on a bunch of different meanings.
There's a lot of words I could use, but my mom has yelled at me and said not to do that.
You shouldn't do that, right?
I didn't know I was following my uncle's lead.
Right, that's never a good. That is never a good idea.
My
Even
Uncle
the good
Bob
one
is awesome.
Yeah. All right. 407-916-1041. Back in a sec with more of the Jim Colbert Show. Hang loose.
Real radio is the news junkie.
I'm down to share my body with science, and you could play around with my body after I die, poke me with a stick or whatever. I don't mind.
Ooh, I just heard from science. They said no go, dog.
It's a no from science?
The news junkie. Weekdays at 11 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Looking at heavy traffic on I-4 this afternoon in the Orlando area by the major attractions exits. Looking at a crash on I-4 eastbound up in Volusia County where the right lane is currently blocked at State Road 472 and Howland Boulevard. A crash is blocking 2 eastbound lanes on 434 at Orange Avenue. If you see traffic problems this afternoon, make sure to call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school, including tech. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. Offer ends 8/24. Save big on back to school at Staples.
Renewal by Andersen is having their end of summer sale, and it's hotter than the Florida sun. Renewal by Andersen's windows combine chic design with custom-built craftsmanship, providing impact resistance against Florida's extreme weather. And that layer of safety for you and your family matters so much now, like right during hurricane season, even more so if you live on Florida's coast. Plus, their products are backed by some of the strongest warranties you will find anywhere. Now through August 31st, receive $300 off every window and $825 off all patio doors. Plus, zero money down, zero payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Be one of the first 50 callers and receive a free True Scene screen upgrade. Again, just visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Official sponsor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. License number CGC 1527613.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st. T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Keep listening for your next chance to be there.
Own the moment with the Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses. Wear timeless styles with technology that lets you listen to music, capture pictures and videos, live stream, make a hands-free call or text, and even ask Meta AI questions on the go. All while you stay present in the moment.
Jim Colbert Show question of the day is brought to you by WeAreNotTheBanks.com. That's Brad Siebert, and they're not the banks. They're better than the banks because they have a sole focus of mortgages, securing you the money you need for your home, whether it's a new home or maybe you're refinancing the home where you live. I used WeAreNotTheBanks.com for my refi many years ago. Fast, easy, got a great rate. I went to the website. That's where I got started. WeAreNotTheBanks.com. Brad Siebert, he's the man, and let me know everything I needed every step of the way. Guided me through a complicated process. WeAreNotTheBanks.com has loans for all types of buyers, many types of loans, VA loans, conventional loans, jumbo loans. Check it out for all your mortgage needs. Again, easy website to remember, WeAreNotTheBanks.com. NMLS ID number 66247, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Cento Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving. From packing to delivery, Cento Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience so you can enjoy your new home in no time. Get a quote today at CentoMoving.com. Forget the stress, move with the best.
In St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra, it might feel like there's not enough time to take everything in. Because once you're done exploring 42 miles of pristine coast, marveling at historical architecture, and enjoying world-class food, it'll be time to check out and head home. But that's okay. You can always stay just one more day. Visit FloridasHistoricCoast.com to learn more. It's about time.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day. But when we're driving, cooking, and working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Big news for veterans and first-time homebuyers. The Hometown Heroes program provides up to $35,000 down payment and closing costs. Get pre-approved at thatmortgagguydon.com.
Thatmortgagguydon.com.
When you call me for an injury case, you don't pay a dime unless we win. The call and the advice are always free. Injured on the go, just call Mo. 866-CALL-MO. Mo DeWitt. Orlando's injury attorneys.
Texting enrollment
enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
iHeart's Yacht Rock Radio goes commercial-free every weekend. Enjoy the greatest 70s and 80s smooth soft rock all weekend, all commercial-free. High tide, low tide, no tide. Yacht Rock Radio works anywhere. Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and start listening. iHeart Radio. Free never sounded so good.
Think orange for your next vehicle. OrangeBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show. Unless you're watching us talk, then you're likely on YouTube. At Jim Colbert Show on YouTube. Subscribe today.
Hey guys, from an old bartender. Evading paying taxes on your tips was just a part of life from the service industry. Yet you learn where it sucks when you try to apply for a mortgage and you've got no income verification.
Yeah, right.
Putting a ban on taxing tips is just ludicrous in the sense of it's an income no matter which way it comes. Everybody should pay their income tax. It's up to you to evade them, whichever way you want.
Good afternoon, Colbert crew. When I was in high school, I worked at a pizza shop with a friend of mine. He was going under, and we went to get our final check. He said he couldn't pay us. So I get home, tell my mom what's going on. She looked at me like you don't want that look. So she gets me in the car. We go pick up my friend. We drive over to that pizza shop. You best believe we got paid. Have a good day.
Yeah, they'll take moms up there, right? All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb and Jack are here as well. I just got a text from my buddy Angel Rivera from the Monsters of the Morning, one of the sweetest dudes you could ever meet in your entire life.
Yeah, what did he have to say?
Talking about Spanish words we aren't supposed to say?
Well, that and the whole Latino men having a side piece that's a dude because it's not cheating if you only receive favors, sexual favors from a guy and you don't give any back. And his entire response was, bruh.
Right.
Yeah, that was it. Question mark, exclamation point. I told him, I said, laugh out loud. You got something to say? He goes, when all the Latino men who listen to your show hit me up at the same time and urge me to speak on their behalf.
Right, exactly.
Laugh out loud.
That does not happen.
I said, phones are open, big dog. You're welcome to give us a buzz. You don't have to defend every. You were on the air as a Puerto Rican guy. You speak for all Puerto Rican dudes. He does not. All right. By the way, going back to this Maine thing real quick, I'll pay this off. So what Maine is doing, Maine is a Democrat-run state, and they mentioned that here in the story a couple times. I guess because I really don't know why. Actually, this is a kind of a union thing. I know that's a union endorsed, but basically what they're saying is if you as an employer don't pay your fair wages, and that includes overtime. And, of course, we know that here locally, Attorney John Morgan years ago ran this big campaign in Orlando, almost like a class action thing. Hey, if you've been underpaid or you have had wages withheld from you illegally, call us. We'll go get them or whatever. But in Maine, what they're saying is if they can prove that, not only will you get your wages, you'll also get damages that could be up to double what they owe you in wages.
That would be nice.
So what they're basically doing is they're making it so penal for you to kind of short your employees in any way, shape, or form. Hopefully what they want is no one to ever do this again. And I guess California amended its labor laws earlier this year to get more businesses to correct such labor violations as well. But in Florida, isn't it kind of weird? Do they, when you have migrant workers in Florida, do they get paid like regular checks, or because they are illegals, do they get paid under the table? How does that happen? I know if you're on a work visa, it's different.
I was going to say, I think most are here on an agricultural visa, so there's got to be some kind of, where taxes are taken out.
Sure. But, we also know that in the
other
state,
ones just get straight up ripped off.
I was going to say the other ones in the state, we know for a fact there's a large portion of our farm workers here in Florida for sure are not here legally. And you kind of wonder how that goes because, of course, we've talked to Scott Maxwell about it, especially down in the sugar plantations down in South Florida, that those people could possibly get taken advantage of. And they know that they have certain language written into the legislation to kind of keep people from looking too close almost. Like,
That's why they pack them 10 to a mobile home. And
well, the orange fields used to be like that too.
Well, the tomatoes, you got to remember, Yum Brands, which owns Burger King and a couple of others, or used to, they had been, and Scott has written about this, arguing and battling over raising their tomato prices
by a penny a pound. Penny a pound.
And they dragged their effing feet over 1 penny a pound.
Yeah, I know one of those growers too. And I think it's the same guy. Well, you're talking about an awful human being. I had a really bad run-in with one of those dudes years ago. It was not cool at all. I'll tell you the story later, but man, it was not good. The citrus growers that I knew that are out in rural Lake County for a while, and this was years back. My parents knew some people that lived on a small citrus farm, and they had workers there that lived on property. And it was a Mexican family, two Mexican families, and some uncles and aunts and whatever, but it was probably about 20 people. They lived all together in about 4 mobile homes, and they worked harder than any people you could ever imagine working ever, never complained about anything.
And send that money home.
But on Sunday...
Oh, they party like, you should hear my neighborhood.
This guy, listen, this guy used to tell me, you've never in your life wanted to drop in on a party more than you've wanted to crash one of these parties. He said, you've never seen people have more fun. He said it was the way that the mobile homes, if I can remember, were laid out, it almost created a square so that there would be like a middle area where
like an atrium.
Where everybody would join, and there was a big fire pit there and everything. And on Sunday mornings, they would drive by on the way to church. They would go to the early services in church. It'd be 7:30 in the morning, and this couple would be on the way to church. Every one of the family members dressed to the nines. I mean, their best clothes, out there drinking, listening to music, cooking food, 8 o'clock in the morning, all day long.
Yep.
They rip it. Dead Monday morning, no questions, on time, ready to go, no problems. So they were the greatest. And they got paid well. They got treated well.
Good.
And of course, that's what it is. But in Maine, what they're saying basically is they want to hold these people accountable for skipping out on wages and causing people not only harm, but, costing them money and putting their lives on hold, basically, by holding their cash back.
That sucks.
Yeah. And by the way, it said the Maine Center for Economic Policy said earlier this year that minimum wage violations in Maine in 2017 estimated to cost about how much? Amounted to how much? In other words, how much did employers short their minimum wage workers in 2017 collectively through the state?
In total, I'll say $15 million.
Not a bad guess.
I'm going to go $16 million.
That's a great guess. You're anti-shawing today.
I am.
Yeah, $30 million with a tiny little state like Maine.
That's
like a tiny little state like Maine. $30 million in minimum wage violations.
Violations.
Yeah. Just violations. It would be fraud if it was malicious for sure, and you have to assume that some of that is. And my kids worked for employers as they were growing up. Most of them were good people. But there were a couple of times when one of my kids worked for somebody on the side, and they tried to hey, I said this, but I'll do that. I'm like that guy in a minute. I'm like, I'll go over there and we'll talk to this guy, and
That's what happened in my first job. It was heartbreaking. 2 weeks you work, and it's like, now they're not going to pay you.
Man, that would be dangerous. I don't know. I had my print shop, and there was, right there toward the end of it, I had a couple tough months where I had to tell my employees one time only in all the years I was in business. I said, "Hey guys, I can't pay you today. I can pay you tomorrow, but I can't pay you today." It was the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
4 people leaning on you for their wages, and what happened was, a check that the guy wrote me was no good, and that's what I was going to pay him. It was a big check, 10, 15 grand. And did not clear, and it took us one day to get the cash so I could pay my employees. I felt like complete ass.
You should.
Never shorted him, though. Never shorted him, though.
I know I could get Jack to laugh at that.
Yeah,
But
right.
I was thinking about it. I'm saying, you know what? I'm not going to say it. It's people expect me to say that, and then Deb said it.
So great.
We have to keep it consistent, Jack.
So great.
We have to keep it consistent.
You got to keep them guessing every once in a while.
Is that what it is?
That's that poker bluff y'all don't think I'm going to have on Saturday.
A couple of texters say they pay illegals by having one guy who can get a check on the crew, and then he pays everyone else.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, if they wanted to change it, they could.
Oh, so what you're saying is say there's 5 guys in a work crew. One of them is legal. The others are illegal.
Right.
They'll pay that one guy the wages for everybody.
Yeah.
And then he has the tax onus.
Yeah.
But then he also gets to decide who gets what.
Right. Yeah. And if they don't speak English, guess what? You're getting less.
Or if you don't like the guy.
Yeah.
You got a beef with him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Friend works for the IRS back in the day for 45 years. Always used to tell me that you should always pay taxes, even if you're illegal, because that will always affect you when you become legal. One of the scariest situations in my entire life was a tax mix-up where I had to face the IRS for a $17,000 debt. It was no fun at all. You definitely just don't want to be in front of that desk. Here's the thing. You have no power. And nobody tells you that faster than they do. Nobody relates that to you faster than an IRS agent telling you, "Sorry, Mr. Colbert, we did not create this scenario. How can we expect payment?" Right after I told them, "You're about to put my family on the street."
Yeah.
No facial expression, like I was talking to a mannequin. "Sorry, Mr. Colbert, we didn't create this scenario. How can we expect payment?"
I wonder if they practice that. Because wouldn't that be difficult? I mean, if you're talking to some dregs, right? Like, Pharma Bro or some douche that you're like, "Oh, this feels good."
Right, yeah.
But then when you're talking to a family and you hear that young kids, I mean, there isn't anything you can do, but
I told her right to her face. I said, "Ma'am, I got to tell you, if you go through with this action, it is literally going to put my family on the street. I have 2 young children, 2 young daughters who are under the age of 5. And her response looked up from what she was writing. It looked me dead in my face, no emotion whatsoever, and said, "Sorry, Mr. Colbert, we didn't create the scenario. How can we expect payment?"
see that.
And I said, "I don't know what to tell you. I do not have the $17,500 that you're requiring. Is there a payment plan we can enter?" And the crazy part goes, "Oh yeah, sure, we can do that." I'm like, well, but the fact is they were hoping I'd just write them a $17,000 check immediately. You can also negotiate some of that stuff too.
Right.
Not payroll taxes, but some other stuff you can negotiate. They will actually bend on that a little bit.
Terrifying.
Not many people know that because they don't want to try to negotiate with IRS, but they're more willing to do that than you think. They really want just compliance. They want you to get in compliance within reason, of course. If you owe them 10, they're not going to settle for 2, but they may settle for 6. You just got to ask. That's the number one thing. People just don't have the balls to ask anymore because they think that everything is an absolute. Very few things are. Very few things are absolute. Most things are negotiable.
Well, but we have learned the 2 absolutes in life are death and taxes.
Yeah, that's the one I learned about.
So,
well, no, I got to tell you,
kind of an absolute.
No. Well, so payroll taxes are an absolute. You can't get away with that. But if you're behind as a business on your sales tax, I have found negotiating room in there.
Oh, okay.
Not much, but enough to save you a few bucks. And I mean, it's money you didn't have before. Like if it was $9,000 and I got it for $8,100, that's $900.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I reduced it by 10% basically. So
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it every day of the week. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Did you guys go to the beach much this summer?
No,
not even once.
Are you a beach person at all?
I like to think I am,
but you're not.
Not really.
But didn't you go at least once this year? I thought you went earlier this summer.
Where did I go?
And I thought you and your wife went out to the beach.
Wasn't it Coco?
I bought a beach umbrella.
New Smyrna?
Oh, went to New Smyrna. It was the Monster broadcast. We were going to go to the beach after and then never did. It was like a rainy day. Then we ended up going home.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we skipped the beach that day.
Are you a beach person, Deb?
I consider myself one, but I haven't been in years.
Same, right?
Any reason? Just to get over there, the time it takes to set up, you kind of talk yourself out of it before you go?
No, it's because for me, I'm picky about my beaches. Right?
Okay.
Like I like a summer haven. I like North Reddington Beach on the Gulf Coast. Not a big fan of having to look out for vehicles on the beach and if I'm going to get run over.
Right.
And if I like the music from the 18 cars that are parked around me.
So you hate the East Coast. Because you just pretty much described Jacksonville
Summer
down.
Haven. Summer Haven is south of St. Augustine, north of Daytona. It's a
like
beautiful
Ormond by the Sea up there's like that too.
Exactly.
It's very, very quiet.
It's very quiet.
And Brevard Beach is there's no driving.
Yeah, down
Canaveral
south.
Seashore.
I think Satellite in that area there have the best. I mean, that's some of the nicest because of like Deb was saying, it's not crowded.
Yeah.
If you're going as a Floridian just to enjoy the beach and enjoy yourself, you're not there to be in the mired in everything that happens like your New Smyrnas or Daytonas. You're right. Those Satellite Beach in that area down by Melbourne, those are the best, man.
Canaveral Seashore.
Yeah, that's good
Love
stuff.
that area.
Well, in Volusia County, it's going to cost you a little bit more this year. I don't know if you saw this.
I'm cool with that.
They will now be able to drive on the beach, but not for free. Or, excuse me, they will now be able to drive on the beach for free, but non-residents will have to pay an additional $10. I didn't even know. I thought it was like $20 just to get on there for everybody. I didn't know if you're in Volusia County, you can drive on the beach for free.
If you're a resident and you register your car with the county, generally you can.
But you get a sticker or something?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, but they're looking to charge because, the residents are there. They already pay the taxes, right? They're looking at the people who come for the day. Remember during spring break, they were having a real issue with students walking on the dunes instead of using the stairs that get you down to the beach. And they have to pay for all of that. It's only right that outside visitors should have to, have some skin in the beach game.
And that's exactly what they say here. It says we needed to right a wrong that's been going on for about 36 years. This is in Volusia County. The residents pay for the beach to the tune of about $17 million a year in property taxes is what it takes to keep those beaches nice so everybody can come enjoy them. It says that residents will have to register their vehicles to have their fees waived, like Jack was saying. I'm sure you get a sticker, some kind of denoting pass or something that you can go there. But non-residents now are going to have to pay $30 for a beach for driving on the beach. So $30 this year instead of the 10 when you used to get them before.
Wow.
But you can buy a pass for $150 for the year. That's up from $20 and $100 respectively. So last year it was only $100 to be able to drive on the beach, or this year, and the next year it'll be $150 or $30 a day.
One time to drive on the beach?
$30.
Pass.
Non-residents will now have to pay $30 fee for beach driving day pass or $150 for an annual pass.
But that's beach driving. So if you still decide to go somewhere and park and just carry your stuff down to the beach, you don't have to pay anything. But if you want to join the throngs of cars on Daytona Beach, you get to pay $30 for the privilege of going 5 miles an hour and hoping you don't run over a sunbather.
Right. It's so hot, I can't imagine that anybody who's a Floridian would go out there for more than a few minutes. My wife and her mother went to the beach a couple weeks ago. And I looked at my phone. I was like, God dang, man, they've been out there since 8 o'clock this morning. It was like 11 or 12. And I texted my wife and I said, are you alive? Are you alive? I mean, did you fall asleep and just evaporate? Because I tracked her on her phone and it said that she was still at the beach. I'm like, nobody can spend 3.5 hours in this sun out there in direct sun.
Oh, under an umbrella you could.
Yeah, maybe so. But man, it's still even.
Yeah, I know.
That's how I know I haven't been to the beach. Because I bought a new umbrella this year and haven't used it yet.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us, 77031. Remember, there's no Scott Brown this week. He was traveling, so we didn't get to hear from Scott. So we'll do It's Only Money. Next week, we'll revisit at the same time, 5:20 or so. Let's take a little break. Let's do some trivia next. Orlando Magical Dining is up for grabs. Dinner for two. Let's do it.
Woo!
We have a prize. Get on board at 407-916-1041. Jim Colbert Show Trivia is brought to you by Cento Family Moving and Storage. That's CENTO moving.com.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Progressive Insurance.
No surprise, Bo Nix impressive in his Broncos debut. Nix and the Broncos are a great example of hope in the NFL. You can be an absolute mess one year, turn it around in an instant with the right head coach and quarterback. The Texans were the biggest embarrassment in the league 2 years ago. Now they're the model. With Nix and Sean Payton in the fold, the Broncos could become the next Saints. I'm Colin Cowherd.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Guys,
That's Progressive.com.
This summer, get a brand new grill at a great price from our friends over at Tools Ace Hardware. How about up to $300 off a brand new Traeger grill, that wood-fired flavor you love so much when you cook for everybody in the fam. Maybe a propane grill. I love them. You will as well, especially if it's from Napoleon, and even more when you get $150 off, courtesy of Tools Ace Hardware. These guys also carry grills and pizza ovens from Big Green Egg, Weber, Rectech, Gosney, and Uni. And if you haven't tried out any of these little small pizza ovens, guys, they're so much fun to play with, and they cook a mean steak as well. And when you buy a grill from Tools Ace Hardware, you get free assembly and free local delivery on grill purchases $3.99 and up. It's Tools Ace, 13 convenient locations right here in Central Florida, or you can shop online at acehardware.com. It's Tools Ace, your local helpful place.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Premier Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Premier Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Premier Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 407-337-5569. 407-337-5569. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 407-337-5569.
This is Steve Kramer. Let me tell you a business secret. There are sketch companies out there selling awards. Make sure the awards earned by your lawyer are from respected organizations. At Trenley Kramer Law, our lawyers have been recognized by Orlando Magazine Best Lawyers, Florida Trend Legal Elite, Super Lawyers, and listed in U.S. News as a best law firm for years. We've earned the awards that can't be bought. Trenley Kramer, TK Law, onefirmforlife.com.
After 30 years, Fence Outlet has a lot of happy customers.
All I can say is, wow. From beginning to end, the process was very easy.
Make an easy decision. Visit fenceoutlet.com today.
Frank Gay Services has something cool for you. Keep your AC running smoothly with our expert service. Experienced, professional, friendly, and speedy care that earned us thousands of 5-star reviews. That's the Frank Gay way. Visit frankgayservices.com or call for details.
Don't miss our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, you're having a good time.
Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio, let's go!
Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Christopher Chambers enlisted in the U.S. Navy and later graduated from SEAL training. He was conducting a nighttime raid on a ship that was illegally transporting advanced lethal aid from Iran to Houthi forces in Yemen when he died in the line of duty. Christopher was 37 years old. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation provided Christopher's wife and young daughter with a mortgage-free home. Help America's heroes and their families. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
This hour of Real Radio 104.1, sponsored by FloridaJobsNow.com, coming Wednesday, September 18th.
Real Radio is on Threads at Real Radio 1041, sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This is The Jim Colbert Show. Also available on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Just search The Jim Colbert Show.
I got stiffed twice by the same employer.
Oh, boy.
Then her husband found out, and I got fired.
Latino. Welcome back. I am Jim. Deb is here.
Cuidado.
And Jack has the Jackie sack.
All aboard.
Chugga chugga.
Choo-choo.
Clickety clack, clickety clack.
All right, here we go. It's a magical week here on the Jim Colbert Show because it's magical dining. And today's winner will get dinner for two at Rodizio Grill. Part of Visit Orlando Magical Dining. 6 weeks, 3 courses, 2 exceptional prices. Savor the flavors with a record-smashing 150-plus restaurants. This happens August 16th through September 30th. Every meal served during Visit Orlando's Magical Dining, presented by Orlando Health, benefits the Mustard Seed of Central Florida and other local nonprofits. That is the Jackie Sack Prize today, and it's brought to you by
Cento Family Moving and Storage. Go local. Support a family-owned and operated Orlando moving and storage company, and make sure you keep it local by mentioning the Jim Colbert Show, because that bad boy's going to get you a discount. Book them today at centomoving.com. That's C-E-N-T-O. Moving.com. Clickety-clack. Back to you.
Thank you, Deb.
Sure.
Who goes first?
Oh, first is going to be...
I'm cranky.
I'm not cranking no better.
Dwayne.
Dwayne right there on the bottom. Hey, Dwayne, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Glad to hear that. Would you like to play a game with us?
Certainly.
Let's do it.
Game show.
It's like we practiced that.
I was going to say.
Time. All right, Dwayne, buddy, you know the deal here. We got an easy game. Got a question here for you. 4 answers. One of these answers is untrue. If you can find that one, I'll send you off to the Jackie Sack. And what really is one of the coolest prizes we have?
Oh, yeah.
Orlando Magical Dining, well over 125 or 30 of these restaurants in Central Florida participating. You'll get dinner for two at one of those. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go, buddy. On this day in 1792, French revolutionists imprisoned royals, including the Queen of France, Marie Antoinette. On this day, that's right. Here are 3 fun facts about Marie Antoinette and one lie they can eat. All right, here we go. Number 1, Marie Antoinette was one of 15 children. Number 2, Marie Antoinette was wed in an arranged marriage at just 16 years old. Number 3, Marie Antoinette gave birth to all 4 of her children in public to assure the child wasn't a royal imposter. Or lastly, the city of Marietta, Ohio is named after Marie Antoinette. Which of those is a lie?
I'm thinking number 1, Jim.
No, that's absolutely true. Marie Antoinette was from a 15-person family.
Her mother was, she was not a queen, or I want to say an emperor or whatever.
She was a duchess, I believe.
She gave birth and was still doing state work as she was giving birth.
Yeah, right.
She was hardcore.
Who's next, buddy?
Jimmy.
Jimmy right there
He's
on
right there.
line. Jimmy, how you doing, buddy?
I am super. How are you?
I'm super as well. We're talking about Marie Antoinette. Which one of these is untrue? Number 1, Marie Antoinette was wed in an arranged marriage at just 16 years old. Number 2, Marie Antoinette gave birth to all 4 of her children in public to assure the child was an imposter royal. Or lastly, the city of Marietta, Ohio is named after Marie Antoinette.
I know all about this person. It's number 3.
It is not number 3. That is absolutely true, unfortunately. Marie Antoinette, the city of Marietta, Ohio, is named after Marie Antoinette. Who's next, buddy?
Jason.
Jason right there on line 3. Jason, how you doing, boss?
I'm fat and hungry, man.
Good. I love that. I'm getting a little redemption today, but, buddy, you could break that. You got a 50-50 shot at winning this. We're talking about Marie Antoinette. Which one of these is untrue? Number 1, Marie Antoinette was wed in an arranged marriage at just 16 years old. Or lastly, Marie Antoinette gave birth to all 4 of her children in public to assure the children weren't imposters royals.
The second one sounds the most unlikely. So I'm going to go with the first one.
That's interesting logic, buddy, and it worked for you. You're a winner. Very good. That is true. And by the way, hey, check this out, buddy. That was a common practice back then. Royals of all, it was a King Louis decree, by the way. And King Louis decreed that all women of royalty or of blood of there's a word they use, entitled or
lineage,
something of that nature, that all those people, all those women had to give birth in public to assure that the child wasn't an imposter royal.
There were so many people when she gave birth to her first child that she passed out.
Yeah.
And from after that, they kind of cleared that many people from hovering over her in the room. A lot of marriages were consummated that way.
That's incredible when you think about that.
People witnessed it.
Yeah, but the reason why that number 1 isn't correct correct. Do you know the answer? Marie Antoinette was wed in an arranged marriage at just 16 years old.
She was younger than that.
She was younger. She was 14 years old.
She was 14
when she was married off. 14 years old when she was the Dauphine. She married the Dauphine of France.
Yeah, Louis.
Louis.
And what's interesting is how much the United States owes to that royal couple.
Oh, it really?
Well, if you remember, that was when France was helping fund the American Revolution.
You're absolutely right.
And King Louis had expressed, and he was like, I'm not so sure I'm comfortable helping people overthrow their sovereign, but because our sovereign at the time was England, their mortal enemy, that's part of the reason why they ended up being executed was because taxes in France kept going up while they're helping the American war effort.
Yeah, treason was one of the reasons, but I actually have a little something on that. After they've done some, there was some other reasons that were drummed up in court.
Yes.
But just to show you how crazy it was, like we see stuff in court now and we hear stuff in politics now, we're like, that's insane. Buddy, listen, it's been happening for a while.
Oh,
the insanity with this has been happening for a while. We'll continue on before we get to the top of the hour. Here are a few things about Marie Antoinette you may not know as well. As a child, she had her own chocolatier. And when she moved from Vienna, because she's Austrian, when she moved from Vienna to Versailles after her marriage to King Louis, she brought him with her. She grew up in a very affluent household.
Yeah.
Her childhood was considered as idyllic as you could possibly have in that era, as good as it could get.
Because considering her adulthood, not so much.
Yeah. Marie Antoinette had her own artist who only painted her 30 times while she was Queen of France. The artist went on to make other paintings and other portraits, but for, I think, about a 12-year period, I can't remember the exact years, she only painted her, and she did it 30 times. I think she painted Louis as well. She apologized to her executioner for stepping on his foot.
Yes, she did.
When
Excuse me, sir, I did not mean to do that.
She was such a lady and had such class that as she was approaching the guillotine, she accidentally stepped on the executioner's foot and apologized to him for doing it, and then went to have her head cut clean off.
And they knew they had found her grave because they found a femur bone with like the ribbon around it that would have held up her stockings, and it had the insignia on it, and that's how they knew they had found Marie Antoinette's part of her body.
That's right. Although surrounded by the best spirits and champagne in the world, Marie Antoinette did not drink alcohol. She was a teetotaler.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
How about this one? Madame Tussaud, familiar with that name?
Yeah, the Wax Museum.
That's where she started. Just before this era, she took Voltaire's and did some other, who was the famous French poet. She did more of that. But when Marie Antoinette's head was severed, it was Madame Tussaud who ran over in the road to pick it up so that she could make her death mask of Marie Antoinette's severed head.
Whoa.
So Tussaud started that entire thing of wax molding because her father did it. That started in that era with Marie Antoinette. That's where that name came.
Execution. Wow.
It's mine. It's mine. Hands off.
They still do, or they did red ribbon balls after her execution.
Yeah.
People who had family members or friends who were executed by the guillotine were invited to go to these red ribbon balls where they would wear a red ribbon around their neck. And it was pretty prestigious if you could go, but you had lost someone to the guillotine, and that's how they knew you wore a red ribbon around your neck.
Didn't France use that thing up until like the 50s?
Oh,
like
I
the
don't
40s
know.
or 50s. I think they used that guillotine as a public, and they executed in public into the 20th century, I believe. Wow. I'm serious. If you look it up, I believe the last execution via guillotine was way earlier than you think, or way later than you believe.
And her mother was Empress Maria Theresa and Emperor Francis I.
Right,
So
she grew up a royal, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then lastly here, at the trial that led to her beheading, in addition to treason, she was also accused of incest with her oldest son.
Which, I mean, it's the same thing they said about Anne Boleyn, right?
And only one of her kids made it to adulthood, and it was him. All the others died before they were 18.
Not too far off, Jimmy. June 1939.
Yeah, 39.
Oh, they still use the guillotine.
It was a public execution up until 39, dude. That's like post World War II. That's going right into That's going right into World War II.
Right.
Eugene Weidman, who was convicted of 6 murders, beheaded on June 17th.
Yeah. And if you go and look, you can search. There are still photographs of the guillotines because they didn't keep it set up. They would set it up. And keep it up there for a certain number of them, then tear it down. And that if they had an execution, they would literally build the guillotine that day and then do the execution that afternoon.
It provided jobs.
Yeah, right. And then you can see still photographs of the guillotine still set up outside of I guess Versailles, not Versailles, but it would be the whatever the court was there. I can't remember.
The prison Saint-Pierre, Rue Andrew Mignon, 5 at Versailles.
There you go.
There you go. Say that 5 times fast.
I don't want to say it again.
I didn't want to say it the first time. All right, 407-916-1041. You can text us always at 77031. So it's funny. Do you think that kids in America are spoiled?
Yes.
Yes.
How bad?
What's the scale?
1 to
10. 7.
I got a story. To just give you an idea about just how spoiled and naive Americans can be when it comes to just everyday stuff. Let's say like your kid's going to school. I'll tell you the story next.
Oh, no.
A limited number of poker seats for the Real Radio Poker Tournament are now up for auction. Get the details at realradio.fm/poker.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Drivers can expect heavy traffic along I-4 this afternoon in the Orlando area for those traveling east and westbound by the major attractions exits. Activity blocking 2 eastbound left lanes on 434 between Westtown Parkway and 436. Seeing delays north and southbound along the turnpike by the Oakland Exchange exit. If you see traffic problems, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Direct Auto. Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. With savings of up to 25%, you can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com. Savings based on discounts can vary. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Guys, are your energy costs going through the roof? Maybe it's time to replace those single-pane aluminum windows with the most energy-efficient option out there. Keep that heat outside during the summer, but of course, we want to keep it inside during the winter. And if there's too much noise outside getting inside, consider replacing those older windows and doors. And when you do that, use laminated insulated glass. That can provide as much as 100% improvement. Want to keep that outside noise where it belongs, and that's outside. And I will tell you personally, from having 2 homes that have windows at FAS Windows and Doors, it's an amazing difference. It really is. How much more quiet your home is, how much more serene it is, and of course, way more efficient. These guys are also offering rebates of $100 per window and $200 per door. On top of that, they also offer 24-month, no money down, no payment, and no interest financing. So for that completely free in-home consultation, just find out what they can do for you. Call FAS or visit them online. It's trusttheleaderfas.com.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Big news for veterans and first-time homebuyers. The Hometown Heroes program provides up to $35,000 down payment and closing costs. Get pre-approved at thatmortgagguydon.com.
With that mortgage guy, Don.com.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Equipment change-outs and upgrades right now with up to $1,275 in rebates. Visit millsair.com.
I'm Geraldine Thompson. As state senator, I do not back down. I stand up to protect our voting rights and abortion rights from extremists. As mother and grandmother, I stand up to those who want to take away funds from public schools and put more guns in our streets and classrooms. I'll never stop standing up for you. By August 20th, vote Geraldine Thompson for Florida Senate District 15, political advertisement paid for and approved by Geraldine Thompson, Democrat for State Senate.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today at 407-213-0000. That's 407-213-0000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Do you have information about a violent crime? Help solve crimes with your anonymous tips at crimeline.org. crimeline.org. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your tips make a difference. Say it here. It's anonymous at crimeline.org. Paid by CSTF.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Cento Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving. From packing to delivery, Cento Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience so you can enjoy your new home in no time. Get a quote today at CentoMoving.com. Forget the stress, move with the best.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because you matter. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. This is the Jim Colbert Show. Also available on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Just search The Jim Colbert Show.
Hey, Jim, it's called offer of compromise with the IRS. So anyone can negotiate penalties and interest, but like you said earlier, you can't negotiate the actual taxes.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with that a couple of times. You know, I don't mind, going in front of people. I had to do that in the military, so it was okay.
Yeah, that's right. It's the penalties and interest that you can negotiate down. But that stuff adds up so quickly. I mean, your $1,500 deficit can turn into $3,000 pretty quick.
Yeah, in like a couple seconds.
Right. All right, 407-916-1041. Welcome back. I am Jim. There's Deb.
Hola.
Jack is here as well.
I am.
Did you guys ever have to walk to school?
Hell yeah, my entire life.
You lived that close to your school? How far was it?
It was. My town was 1 mile by 1.5 miles, right?
All right.
Oh,
I
wow.
think the rule was if it was over 2 miles, they have to provide bus transportation.
Right.
But they do it as a crow fly. So if you go through the streets, the one school would have been over 2 miles away. However, as a crow flies, it was not.
If you were cutting cutting through yards and stuff, did you have a little path? Did anybody walk with you?
By the time the middle school was really far. It's funny, as a kid, it seemed like this was forever ago.
Yeah,
and I was there, earlier this year, driving through it. It's like, it's so tiny.
Yeah, right.
A mile. It's like my hotel. It's amazing what 1 mile and 1.5 miles is.
Sure, yeah.
But by the time I reached middle school, it was bike everywhere. Bicycle. Yeah, until I had a moped. And then I had a car.
Right. You didn't walk to school, did you?
No.
No, you always rode the bus?
Rode the bus, or mom would drive. One of the parents would drive and drop you off.
Yeah. I don't think I ever walked to school.
I also never drove to school.
I did go to school in elementary school for a couple of years, not far from where my mom worked at the bank. So my mom would just go to work, and I would walk from the bank to school, which was only like a couple blocks. Not that you could literally see one from the other. And, it is interesting in America, how spoiled kids are. And there's a really interesting story in the AP today. And I read it. I just started laughing. I was like, kids in America are such bees.
I know.
They're just such bitches. They just complain about everything. If nothing's handed to them on a plate, they complain. It's the worst. Well,
and it cripples them.
Right. So what do you think the big issue is here? There is a in Zimbabwe, there was a group of kids, and they go to school every day. They walk to school every day. And the story is about the trials and tribulations of this group of kids. There's 5 of them in this photograph via the AP, and they're all, I believe, in middle school. They're all in that, 12 to 14-year-old. I mean, I think 14 actually may be the first year in high school.
Yeah, it's about 11, 12, 13.
10, 12 grades, or like maybe 9th, 10th grade, something like that. And, of course, they talk about they have to get up in the morning, clean the house. They light the fire. That way they can cook. They bathe. They get into their school uniforms because that's pretty common over there. And then they go to school. It's usually about a 3-mile walk to school, right? Now, what makes this different than, let's say, any other school situation? Now, in America, like, I don't know, people out there listening, did you have to walk through sketchy areas of town to get to school? I mean, there's got to be a number of neighborhoods. I could take you to 4 or 5 neighborhoods in Orlando where you probably would not want to walk to school from even a few blocks away.
So it would be the war zone they have to walk through, the extreme heat.
Or let's say charging rhinoceros.
Whoa.
Or let's say a lion, or let's say a giraffe or an elephant that's charging you, because every one of these kids has dealt with that as they weave their way through the bush to make it to school in Zimbabwe. This is, by the way, if you want to read a really interesting story, you can go to the AP today, apnews.com. The story is called "In Zimbabwe, School Children Face Threats from Animals, and Now They're Learning How to Spot the Dangers." I just kind of laughed at this as I read it today. It's like, wow, Americans, they're like, if you don't get dropped off at your class, you're bitching all day about your mom. If you don't have a cell phone, if you don't have the best everything, you're bitching and moaning like a little baby when you don't get your way. These kids are dodging lions so they can learn English. Get their,
Put that in perspective.
Right, get their face kicked in by a mad giraffe.
Right, exactly.
This is out of the Save Valley Conservancy. It's in Zimbabwe. It's on the impoverished edges of a conservancy that protects wildlife, and that's what makes it so unique for them, because when they cut through, it actually goes through part of this conservancy, which allows them some safety in some sense.
I was going to say they don't have to worry about poachers necessarily.
Yeah, right, but it's children as young as 5 are making this 3-mile trip. Now, again, me growing up, going 3 or 4 miles away from home really wasn't that big of a deal, because that's how it was in the 70s and 80s.
We were feral.
You just kind of hauled ass and came home when it's time to eat. You didn't really do that. But now you can't get more than 30 feet away from the house, and I'm calling a chopper. It says they see animal footprints, but the whole story is about how they've learned how to be like bushmen just to make it to school, because they have to learn how to spot like the certain footprints,
right,
certain signs that animals are maybe aggressive or in breeding season. They've learned more about these animals to avoid being hurt by them, just so they can make it to school. I thought that was actually a really cool. If you want to read this, you should.
But
it's really neat. Now, no fatalities have been reported, but they have had some scares of charging elephants that can be very territorial, just like rhinos.
Oh, yeah. Do they have an iPhone 12?
They do not have an iPhone 12.
Well, that's the real problem here.
I did not see that as the makeup here. They can tell you what poop is poop, though.
Oh yeah,
they can tell you. They know how to spot droppings and what animal that represents. They learn how to use that to avoid animals. So on top of learning their lessons, so they can get the hell out of there, they have to learn how to avoid being killed by an animal that's native to their area.
Now drop 5 American kids in that bush and see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Well, they would cry so loud that the animals wouldn't want anything to do with it. Jeez. Yeah, so really interesting story. It says, don't approach an animal. If it's a lion, if it's looking for food, that's why it's in the community. It's looking for cheap, easy prey, and you could be the easy prey. This is a 15-year-old who walks 9 miles to school.
Oh.
It says hyenas can be on the prowl, and you get out there and they catch your scent, and a group of those could circle you in no time. And by the way, the photographs that they show in this story are photographs on the trail they used to walk to work. Giraffes, rhinos, hyenas, all that fun stuff. We get 2 speed bumps in the drive-through lane and we're bitching to the commission about it. It says some parents have actually stopped their kids from going to school, but they simply don't want to. They don't want to send them out and then find out that they were dragged off into the bush by some lion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, man. I never realized we really didn't have sketchy areas I had to go through in my town. In your little town, was there even a big sketchy area in a town that's about a mile and a half?
No. Considering we had a serial killer living in our town.
Did you really? Do we know about that?
You do.
You do. Iceman, right?
Richard Kuklinski.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he had the Iceman living in his neighborhood, dude.
This is at least the third time he's learning this.
I don't remember you saying that he lived in your neighborhood, dude. I knew he was from Jersey.
Well, no, the town. It's a mile. He lived in Dumont. Yeah.
Did you know his kids?
I did not. No.
Because they were in your wheelhouse, were they not? I think he had 2 daughters that were in that wheelhouse, that same age as you would have been. I mean, dude, he would have been like old enough to be our dad right now. He probably would have been in his late 70s by now, I
used
guess.
to go down his block. If I were taking the back way to high school, it would have been down his block.
Yeah, you're safe as a kid, though. You're not part of the group. I mean, he never killed any. I mean, theoretically, he didn't kill innocent people. He's not abducting you and doing it for fun. He was doing it for money. Crazy. I didn't know that. Maybe I did. Who knows?
I remembered it, Jimmy.
Yeah. Of course, you remember everything. I didn't have a bad. There were bad parts of Palatka, of course, but they really weren't near us, so we didn't really have to worry about that. Walking through those areas to go where we had to go.
Yeah, Green Bay is just a mecca for dark crime.
Is it really?
No.
I was going to say.
I mean, there's still, there's areas everywhere you don't want to be caught late at night. There's some small southern towns, let's just say. If you're not from there, you don't want to go wandering about as a stranger.
I was about to say, it's too cold for gang activity, but Chicago doesn't understand that. Because they will shoot you in 40-degree weather or 10 below. They do not care.
Yeah, but you guys walked to a White Castle.
Yeah, we did. That was
in Chicago.
That was the stupid next to Cabrini Green. That was the stupidest thing I've ever done. That would have been one of those, hey, this guy died naively, here's how.
Right.
He walked to a White Castle in Cabrini Green where you had to, are you ready for this? There was an armed guard letting you in and an armed guard in the restaurant. The restaurant that did not have seats. You walked in, picked up your order, and left. They buzzed you in like a pawn shop. You were in a waiting area. Then you buzzed into the restaurant through 2 security doors, armed cop in there, armed cop in the buzz-in door. And we still didn't figure it out. We went to a liquor store after that.
Oh, my God. You were just...
I think they just thought we were so bananas.
Right.
It's like that thing, right? It's like, who's that bit, that Dave Chappelle bit? Like, if you see this one white guy hanging out with a lot of black dudes, be really scared of that white dude.
Right.
Because the stuff that dude's had to do to prove to these black guys that he's down is going to be some nasty stuff.
Right.
Well, when you see 2, and I'm straight dadding the entire time, walking through with bags of White Castle and beer, and never even got looked at sideways.
That wasn't Jack that was with you?
No, it was somebody else. Former employee here.
Oh.
And then here just recently, when we were walking from the Shane Gillis show in Greensboro, North Carolina, we parked a little farther away than we thought, and because the restaurant we ate at was really nice, super nice restaurant. And we just left our car there and walked because it was only like maybe a mile and a half. But what you don't realize is, like, we walked there when it was 7 o'clock at night, lights out, everybody's partying, having a good time. On the way back, it's like 11:30, nobody out, sketchy AF, some dude tripping on Flocka in a parking lot next to us, yelling at a curb.
Oh, no.
And my wife starts fast walking pretty quick. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'm not fighting some drug zombie tonight.
Not tonight.
No. I'm not
tonight,
dying.
honey.
I'm not dying after a Shane Gillis show.
Right, exactly.
That's not in Greensboro. That's not how I'm going out. Not tonight. No.
No, if it's not Cabrini Green, it's certainly not going to be Greensboro.
No.
I've got standards, people.
Oh man, it was pretty sketch. I have to tell you, because there's a couple guys walked up toward us and go, "Hey, you guys coming from the Shane Gillis show?" And like 2 young dudes, and I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, it was good, pretty good." They're like, "All right," and you just kind of got to stand up a little taller.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
Don't show weakness, like slump your shoulders. Yeah.
I'm on alert.
And then as soon as they kind of got past us, boy, we speed walked, like those old dudes that walk through the mall
right.
with those wispy tight shorts. That's exactly what I look like.
What did they say in response?
That's what my jeans sounded like.
What did they say in response to your reply about the Shane Gillis show?
They just kind of cool and just kind of walked on. But what you know that thing when somebody's sketchy, you can kind of do that peripheral vision thing without turning your head around.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to turn your head around and make it seem like you think something's going to happen, because that may actually spur that on even more. I try to get a little bit in my peripheral to make sure they're not approaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a weapon on me because actually I had my gun with me, but I didn't have it on me.
I had that once happen at the Old Orlando Arena. Parking in some of those neighborhoods, walking by myself, 2 guys walking behind me. I turn around and it was like, I'm going to start walking faster.
I have a gun question for you next.
Yeah, sure.
If you want.
All right, 407-916-1041. I had it. We always take one traveling, but I can't take a gun into the show. And actually, I could have because they didn't have a wand
you
or anything.
Drove. Did you check the gun laws of Georgia and all the states you drove through? South Carolina, North Carolina.
Didn't even really think about it, Jack.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Didn't think about it.
You're supposed to.
Yeah. I could put that Derringer in my front. I could have it in my front pocket right now. You wouldn't even know it. And usually that's what I do.
Nothing you want to brag about.
Yeah. That's usually what I do is I carry it around with me because you can't really tell. But I didn't feel like taking it into the event. Well, it was a little sketchy, though. All right, 407-916-1041. We'll find out what Jack's gun question is next.
You're asking an awful lot of that magic eraser. For some extra elbow grease, tell your smart speaker to play Real Radio 104.1 on iHeartRadio.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Shop the best quality jewelry and lowest price. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Drivers can expect heavy traffic along I-4 this afternoon in the Orlando area for those traveling east and westbound by the major attractions exits. Extra activity blocking 2 eastbound left lanes on 434 between Westtown Parkway and 436. Seeing delays north and southbound along the turnpike by the Oakland Exchange exit. If you see traffic problems, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Man, what you've been waiting for is happening right now. Interest rates for mortgages are at the lowest level they've been at an entire year. When you pair that up with a power group like the Nickley Group, you can't lose. So look, man, if you are looking to sell or buy a home, you have to get with these guys. Innovative real estate solutions for sellers and buyers. And the news that the market here in Orlando is softening is not true at all. Orlando homes are selling for record prices still, and they will continue to do that, by the way. And if you're considering selling your house for any reason, maybe you're downsizing, maybe you're relocating, need a bigger home, well, you can do that. The Nickley Group can help you with that. And not only does the Nickley Group sell homes on average for 6% more, they sell them twice as fast as well. And again, now that with the rates lower, more buyers are going to be out there. You got to get with these guys now and make that move. Get your home valued instantly on their website. You can actually get a guaranteed cash offer on their website or just list your home. Do that at thenickley.com. 3,000 5-star reviews, and they are that next level real estate experience where you're just kind of hands off. You kind of hand everything to them and watch them go, and go they will. Mortgage services, moving assistance, elite marketing, an entire team of realtors. These guys have you covered. It's thenickley.com. That's NICKLEY group.com.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. In Office Orlando.
Create the perfect backyard this summer with Tools Ace Hardware. Tools Ace Hardware carries the best brands in outdoor cooking like Big Green Egg, Weber, Napoleon, Uni, Gosney, Rectech, and more. Tools also carries Polywood outdoor furniture made from durable recycled plastic that will last for years and won't fade. Tools has Adirondack chairs, rocking chairs, seating, and dining sets in stock and can special order any item quickly. Get free assembly and local delivery on any grill or patio furniture purchase $3.99 and up. Tools Ace has 13 convenient locations in Central Florida, or you can shop online at acehardware.com for free in-store pickup or delivery. It's Tools Ace, the backyard place.
Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm a school teacher, and my husband is a firefighter. One day, we got the worst call of our lives. Our son was in a serious accident. We heard Glenn Klausman on Real Radio and called him to help. Mr. Klausman genuinely cared about our son and fought multiple insurance companies to get us a great result. We could reach him 24/7 on his cell phone. Mr. Klausman was our guardian angel.
I'm Glenn Klausman. Contact me at klausmanlaw.com. That's KLAUSMAN law.com. Office, Winter Park.
I'm John Morgan, and I'm asking you to stand with me and vote yes on Amendment 3. Amendment 3 will be on your ballot in November, and it will allow adults to possess or safely use marijuana, and that's a very good thing. Amendment 3 will put an end to bad laws that not only cost us millions in law enforcement dollars, but also cost thousands of Floridians their freedom. Nearly 250 years ago, our nation declared our independence. Now it's time for us to declare our independence from laws that demand jail time for simply having or consuming marijuana. Our system of treating adults who consume marijuana as criminals is madness. Join me, John Morgan, in supporting our own Declaration of Independence and vote for the people and vote yes on Amendment 3.
Paid political advertisement paid for by Smart and Safe Florida, 1400 Village Square Boulevard, Suite 3, 321, Tallahassee, Florida, 32312.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
In this week's Marketers Report, Dana Nussbaum, Executive Vice President, Worldwide Marketing at Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on regional audio marketing and the movies.
Everything that we are doing is incredibly data-driven. We are getting signals in every single day about how specific audiences are performing. So although we're marketing at a very broad scale, and that does include specific local markets, that's really the beauty of iHeart's network. You're not serving the same message to a consumer in Nashville necessarily that you may be in New York. You have the ability to be very specific and very personalized, but at a tremendous scale.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local, every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Between the lines.
Far beyond legal and ethical limits.
And under the surface.
Too dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We've officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events.
Is somebody messing with us?
Now, it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening.
This hour of programming is brought to you by My Home Builders Network. Need new windows? Then you need Mike and his team at hbnusa.com.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show, also available to watch. At The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Hey guys, in Palatka, the only area I didn't feel safe at was close to Vic's Supper Club.
Yep.
And there was a huge murder there not too long ago, so yeah, I'm justified with that.
Yep.
But I also grew up in Crescent City. I had to walk to the middle school to get on the bus to go to both high school and elementary school. However, when I lived near the middle school, they changed the designation from 6th to 8th grade to 4th, 5th, and 6th. So I only got 1 year out of that, walking.
We lived a mile from the school as the crow flies, and my kids had to walk down the street past the bus stop and back towards the school.
And I bet they complained the whole time.
I hated riding the bus so much. I hated it so much. It was a class thing in Palatka. Yeah, because you got a car when you were like 16 there. I mean, you could drive. I mean, everybody I knew was driving stick shifts at like 10.
It was the same with me. It was embarrassing. It was like, on the bus with my little brother.
Right. Oh, yeah, it was the worst.
And I was jealous of it because I always had to walk.
Oh, man. You don't want to be on the bus. That's where the nerds were.
Yeah.
It was the worst. 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb is here.
Nerd.
And so is Jack. When I got my first truck, I think it was 16 when I got my little pickup truck. And there was one of the cheerleader girls that lived out there near me in a very rural area. She grew up in a trailer just like I did, but she was real popular. So she was embarrassed by her upbringing, and she used to have to ride the bus. Let me tell you, you've never seen anybody more pissed off in your life than seeing this very preppy cheerleader girl have to pile onto the bus every day. When I got my truck, she begged me to give her rides so that she wouldn't have to ride in the truck. And even then, she wouldn't talk to me. She just sat there like silent and then got out of the truck and left. She didn't want to talk to me. She just didn't want to ride the bus.
There you go. Oh.
Bitch. All right, Jack, you had a question about guns?
Concealed weapons permit. Are you familiar with one?
I got 5 and 3 different aliases.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Sure, you want to put that on?
What about it?
Well, I got it in, I would say 30 years ago. I think it was probably 94-ish, 93, 94.
Yeah.
And it just came up for renewal. I think I've renewed it twice since then, so I assume it's every 10 years.
Okay.
That you renew it.
Okay.
Right? So 93, 2003, or 04. Okay, yeah. So every 10 years.
So you think you have to renew it?
No, I received the notification that I need to renew it, and now I'm wondering why. Because they changed the laws.
Yeah, I was going to say you don't have to have that now.
As of a year ago. So is like there any advantage?
I don't think there's an advantage at all to it. I mean, it's full carry everywhere now, right? You don't have to have a permit because didn't DeSantis say that it was unconstitutional since the Second Amendment guaranteed us the right to have weapons? That was the deal? Right, so he said having requiring you to have a permit to carry it really is unconstitutional because in the Constitution you're given that right as an American citizen.
Right. Okay. So I mean that's his take on it in this state. Yes.
In this state,
and it varies state to state.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, are there any advantages besides? I guess maybe there's a waiting period. Like with a concealed weapons permit, you don't have to wait to purchase a firearm.
You do not.
Right.
Right. You do not have to do that.
I haven't bought a firearm in 30 years. Well,
Right.
no, I had one and I got rid of it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
You think, do most people, I'm going to ask, this is a stupid, naive question. Do most people buy their guns from a gun store or do they buy them from other people? Like, I'm telling you, man.
Have you been to a gun show? They have one like every other week at the fairgrounds.
I have been to a gun show, but the funny thing is I don't go there to buy guns. I buy guns from friends. I bought a gun from a friend before.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, just a rifle. I my handguns that I have are passed down.
Yeah.
My wife has a pistol that her father bought for her, but my handguns are passed down. And then she has the Derringer is actually my wife. So I've got a 9 and just a.
So I have my pistol that I have. I bought new in '94
from a gun shop.
Yes, but he was a friend who worked at a gun shop.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It was right before.
So you bought a hot gun from a gun shop guy.
No. It was actually legit, but it was right before the assault weapons ban went into effect, that 10-year ban.
The Clinton thing?
Yes. From 94 to 04.
Yeah.
And with it was high capacity
magazines.
Magazines. So I had, and so it came with like a 17 and a 10 because it was like right before it started. So I got the 17 as well. So I had an extra clip. Yeah, thanks.
See, the thing is sketchy about, like, you actually called it out right. You know, when I'm traveling across state lines and I have my pistol with me, you really have to be cognizant of, you know, what kind of laws. I think in the South, you're pretty safe. I think if you don't travel outside the 13, I think you're going to be okay with gun laws.
And I did check it
States.
before because back in the 90s when we drove to Charleston, I checked with each state to make sure that I was cool going through each state, but that was with my concealed weapons permit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would think that most officers, I would think that if you were driving in a state and you got pulled over, and if they asked you if you had any weapons in the car, do you tell them yes? Do you tell them that? Like if you get pulled over in South Carolina, and you're from Georgia, and I've got my little Derringer with me, and I just got pulled over for speeding or something, and they ask me if I have a weapon in the car, I mean, do I even have to answer that because it's not a probable cause scenario?
That was what I distinctly remember from my concealed weapon class 30 years ago. He says, if you get pulled over with a weapon on your car, you keep your hands on the steering wheel, and you say, I have a permit to carry a concealed weapon.
It's in my glove compartment.
And then, and then they ask that, and
then you make a fast move to your pocket to show them.
They are very appreciative of that. It happened to me. And he said, and you're more likely to not get a ticket for that, for whatever they pulled you over.
Right.
That's what he
I would
prophesied.
Think so.
Well, it happened to me once, and I still got the ticket.
For carrying the gun?
No, for it was like speeding or a red light-ish. I don't know.
When's the last time you had a speeding ticket? When's the last time you had a violation, a traffic violation? It's been that long?
It's been a minute.
Deb?
I'm good with my insurance company, I'll tell you that.
Yesterday at 3:15?
Yeah, no. 4 years?
4 or 5 years ago? Do you have points on your license right now?
No.
Yeah. I think I have a couple.
Really?
Yeah, I got that speeding ticket right up the street here.
Yeah, but you went to the school, all right?
I
go to
did,
class?
but that's just for insurance, though. And the points as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My wife, no, nothing. She gets out of all of them. She gets out of all of them. That's the worst.
Okay, Texter, this is actually a good point. This might be worth the $45 or whatever it cost me. If you renew it, you could carry it in other states that allow Floridians to have it, right? Because so in other states it's an advantage. But this one texter says the permit is reciprocal in a lot of other states that do require a permit for concealed carry. Otherwise, you can only conceal carry here in Florida. And two, no one will tell you this, so pretend you didn't hear it from me. But having that permit probably gets you a little bit of different consideration in the eyes of the judge and prosecutors. Should you have to use the weapon, it shows you attempted responsible training.
I would agree with that 1,000%. I think it's in that same vein that if you get pulled over and you do have that weapon maybe there, whatever, you keep your 10 and 2 and you tell the cop, hey, look, just letting you know I'm traveling from out of state. I do have a permit to carry a concealed weapon, and it currently is in my glove compartment or in my little middle area of my car. I would think that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah. I've seen stops online where, that's kind of focused on, and you can see how the officer just basically says, well, don't make any quick moves for me, buddy, blah, 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 kind of thing. And then they move forward because there's really nothing they can do about it. I mean, you're allowed to carry one.
Stick both hands out your window so they know.
Did you ever consider getting one?
I've considered it.
Like a little pistol or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I know a lot of women who now have weapons just simply because they feel more secure with it because things just get a little sketchy, especially with how the roads are. I've been told by a number of women in our group that they want it because just driving around, the road rage scenarios happen so fast and they're so volatile that they feel like trapped in their vehicle and felt like a victim, like right from the onset.
I'm sorry, guys. It was a bad day.
What would you get? Would you get something colored like pink or purple?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, they have them,
Yeah, I do. Not interested.
What if I got you one for Christmas?
Nope.
You wouldn't like it?
Nope.
Really?
Mm-mm.
You would refuse it?
We don't want one in the house.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
We're not.
I forget you have someone else to consider.
Exactly.
My wife and I are on the same wavelength. Look, my first birthday, that when we started dating, the first birthday that I went to, I started dating my wife in April of 2004. Make sure I got this right. Yeah, April 2004. In 2005 or August of 2005, August of 2004, her birthday gift from her dad was a 9mm. That I'd known her for 4 months.
Yeah.
Well. And her dad gave her a high-powered handgun.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's more a message for you than a birthday gift for Tori.
This guy doesn't seem to be leaving.
Yeah,
Here,
exactly. She's a good shot, too. You're going to want to be aware of that.
I was like, oh, man, what happened here? I was like, well, I'm in the right family.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Just don't piss her off.
So some states, obviously, you cannot carry. New York, California is one. And someone else, right? They drive down here and from Maryland to Florida and said the only state that doesn't have reciprocity is Maryland.
Oh, really? Well, again, you would think that like everybody from like Virginia down.
Yeah.
And then as far over as maybe, like Mississippi, Arkansas, probably going to be okay with the gun thing. I'd say you got about that 13, 14 states are going to be kind of okay with it in the South. I would think out west, too, with the exception of maybe California, Portland, or Oregon and
Wisconsin would be cool with it.
Carry techs in 29 states have constitutional carry.
Yeah.
It's nothing to see hunters walking down with their rifles over their shoulder on the side of the road.
You know what? I think I think if you saw people walking with a rifle, that would be less shocking than somebody walking down with a handgun. I know I would. If I saw someone with a rifle, I would be way less startled than a handgun.
It's funny you say that because I had a friend who's, born in New York, saw hunters walking on the side of the road. Granted, they're wearing their hunter's orange, their bright orange. You know where they're going. It's deer season. And he freaked out. He was like, oh, my God, where are they going? I'm like, it's deer hunting season. That school's not even in session.
It really is such a culture thing, though, isn't it?
Because you take it for granted that guys can walk along the side of the road with guns slung over their shoulder, and you don't stop to ask because you know where they're going.
Look, man, when I went to, I'm telling you, that Maine, these guys, that Maine.
You've got animals and such. You need to.
You ain't been up to Maine. Look, that's real man land. And again, I grew up in a very rural area where people had their guns. I've said it before. If you wanted to find all the weapons in Putnam County, just go to the high school back in the day because every kid, every boy in that high school had a gun rack with either a 30-06, a 270, and a pump shotgun on their gun rack, unlocked. Nobody cared because nobody had the balls to go into somebody's car. You just simply didn't do that.
Well, everybody else had them, so why are we going to take theirs?
You didn't do any of that stuff. I mean, nobody would ever in a million years mess with that stuff. But up in Maine, man, you go up there and do a grocery store. Like you go into a grocery store, like a convenience store, and they have guns for sale, and they're not locked up. They're just leaning against the wall on a like stand-up gun rack, and you can just pick them up. I mean, it's just like real man land up there. You know, you got to have something like that to survive in that world. Crazy up there. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Yesterday, we mentioned the D23 thing.
Yeah.
Which is the Disney thing, and it showed the changes. I didn't pick up on one of the changes that they're doing. Did you guys see one of the dramatic changes? Now, we know that I went through some trauma here recently with the Country Bear Jamboree.
I know.
Right. That was very traumatic for me.
Real quick, I wanted to go back to this. I didn't realize somebody said that if you have a concealed weapon, apparently your tag tells police that you have one, so you always want to be honest if you get stopped.
What?
I don't know if that's true.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. I was just wondering. It's so if they run your tag
and your license comes up,
it may come back as
if you get pulled up,
weapons.
but they run your tag every time they pull you over, though, buddy. I mean, I don't care what for.
Yeah.
They're running your tag, and
Okay.
sometimes even if they don't pull you over, they're running your tag.
So that's easy information. It's all the same government.
Do you want that? I wouldn't want that. Would you want would you want that information out there, like where they could just scan your tag and know that you're concealed?
Yeah, I don't mind. I feel like we're on the same side here.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is,
like,
the
police are enforcing the law. That permit is showing I am complying with any law.
I understand that, but doesn't that seem like a bit of a reach? To have that if you get a weapon that it shows up when they scan your license plate? Does that hit you as odd? That hits me as weird or something. Does that hit you as odd, Deb? That if you scan my license plate as a cop, you automatically know if I have a gun or not?
It doesn't say if you have a gun. It says if you have a permit for a weapon.
And I think it is because think about it. That officer is getting out of their vehicle.
I mean, I understand the whole protection thing. I get that, but
I mean, I see your point as well, but I just think that if you're an officer and your job is already so insanely dangerous, from doing a wellness check like we saw in Eustis to walking up on a vehicle and that's a convicted felon that's on the run and you don't know that information yet, I think anything that helps law enforcement, not just law enforcement, right? You stay safe, they stay safe. Everyone's on the same page. We're cool.
I don't see a scenario where you are benefiting from concealing that you have a concealed weapons permit from a law enforcement officer.
Well, you're not really concealing it. What I'm saying is, do you know that when you get the permit, you're giving that information up to be scanned? And that somebody just also said that if you get a weed card, the same thing happens there. That it's attached to your driver's license or your tag. So if they scan your tag, they know if you have a dispensary card. Or medical marijuana card.
It makes sense. You are registering
with
from the same government.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but do those agencies work together like that?
Wait, are you nervous about something?
No, I'm not nervous about it. I mean, I do find this a bit of a reach. Like I've never heard this. I've been a licensed driver in this state for 40 years. I've never heard that they could scan your license plate and find out if you have a concealed weapon permit or not. I would think that's knowledge that not many people have.
One texter says this is not true.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of LEOs that listen. So, our Deputy Scott, any of our law enforcement friends that are out there, tell us the truth. Is that the truth? The truth, if you run our tag, you can see if we have a concealed weapons permit or a medical marijuana card or
when they run your name through FCIC, it will come up. And then somebody else just said, this is not true. And then somebody said, I love this idea. And somebody said, it's not odd. Your tag is government issued. I know that, but it doesn't have my medical license. It doesn't have my medical stuff there either. It doesn't have other personal information connected to it.
Well, medical stuff, yeah, but it's a medical license issued by the state.
But what if I was? But hold on now. Just wait for a sec. What if I was? What if I was epileptic? I mean, would you? Other than having a medical badge, should I have that hooked up to my plate in case I had a wreck? Well, now the cops know that I possibly could have an epileptic fit.
Wasn't that the law they just passed
for the license plate?
No, I don't know if it was for the license plate. It was. Don't you remember? You were quizzing us on the new laws, and it was about letting them know that someone in the vehicle
has a medical condition.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe on their license, maybe. I don't know, but I mean if you understand, that's what I'm saying is like if you have a sight deficiency that you have that on your license plate. Like I have
it's on your driver's license.
Like I have that on my driver's license, but when they scan my license plate, does that information come up? Oh, by the way, this guy's got some weird eyesight. This guy's got not only this guy's got terrible sight and a gun.
When they scan your license plate and look up they'll say this car is registered to Jim Colbert. Then they will be able to see what your license is, right?
Yeah, they should be able to know my name, my age, and then where I live. That's what that should, and then whether or not my license is valid. That's all that it should tell them, right?
Yeah, well, your license information.
And then whatever restrictions I may have.
Before they even approach you.
Yes.
If they run your plate, they could probably, if it's the vehicle's licensed to you, they can probably see your license.
Well, someone just texted us and said they're a 911 dispatcher. That's 100% false in all caps about the CCW showing up when we run a DL or plate.
CCW would be the concealed
carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that's good news.
Jeez.
I'm telling you, he's nervous about something.
Hey, real quick, ask him about the weed thing. 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Back in a second. We'll get the hell out of here on a Tuesday and get you heard it here first from our friend Deborah Roberts.
Real Radio is on X at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
From the Cool Today Weather Center, cooltoday.com.
What's up, Central Florida, Fox 35, Storm Team Meteorologist Noah Bergen here. We are looking at Hurricane Ernesto going to impact Bermuda by the weekend. It'll miss Florida and the East Coast, but it will give some big surf as well to our beaches Friday into the weekend. Also a very high rip current risk. And also what the eventual hurricane will do is give us a dry northeast flow Friday and Saturday, notably lower humidity, and also lower rain chances for part of the weekend.
This report is sponsored by DellAir.com. Feel the Dell Air difference. Let Dell Air help you declare energy independence with a new AC system for up to 50% savings on energy bills. Call or visit DellAir.com to book your free estimate and start saving with summer rebates, specials, and interest-free financing.
Renewal by Andersen is having their end of summer sale, and it's hotter than the Florida sun. And if you've been outside today, you know that's saying something. Renewal by Andersen's windows combine chic design with custom-built craftsmanship, providing you impact resistance against Florida's extreme weather. And think about it, that's more important than ever now that we're in the middle of hurricane season, especially if you live on Florida's coast. Plus, everything is made in the USA in Minnesota. Now through August 31st, receive $300 off every window and $825 off all patio doors, plus zero money down, zero payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. All you need to do is visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Be one of the first 50 callers and receive a free TrueScene screen upgrade. Again, just visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation. Official sponsor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. License number CGC 1527613.
A violent crime is committed every 24 seconds. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association exists to provide you with firearms education, training, and access to self-defense liability insurance. So when trouble comes, you'll be ready. Over 800,000 Americans trust the USCCA, and right now, there's an exclusive, limited-time offer for radio listeners. Go to defendfamily.com to get a free family defense guide, a survival secrets training video from a retired FBI agent, and see all the benefits of membership. Go to defendfamily.com now.
Hey, everybody, Jim Colbert here for my friends over at Life Imaging FLA. It's time to be a hero and tell your friends and family about Life Imaging FLA. And look, man, if you have a family member or a friend that you think could benefit from the free scan over at Life Imaging FLA, you got to get them over there. This thing is incredible. We just got an email this past weekend of a couple telling us they heard us talking about Life Imaging. They went for their scans. It turned out the husband needed a quadruple bypass within days that wound up saving his life. And guys, we have heard so many of those stories. And when my wife and I got our scans, we immediately called her parents and said, you got to get over there. You know, they're in that 60 age, like 64, 65 years old. It's time to start paying attention. And with Life Imaging FLA and their free heart scan, you can find out what's happening happening inside, then build that long-term plan with your primary care doctor. That's what it's all about. And remember, no dyes, don't take off your clothes, no injections. This only takes a few minutes. Don't wait. Do what we did. Do what many Central Floridians have done. Call Life Imaging FLA right now. Get that free heart scan. Just a few minimum requirements. It is a $699 value. And while you're there, this is unbelievably important. Ask about the cancer screening as well. Early detection saves lives. Do this. Pick up your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say the keyword free heart scan. That's pound 250. Say the keyword free heart scan. You will be connected in seconds, guys. Make that call today. Make this the year you finally get up and do something about your long-term health care. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto text message from iHeartMedia.
Join Jim Colbert on The Jim Colbert Show for his Cigar of the Week segment every Friday afternoon at 3:45. You can pick up these featured cigars at all 3 Corona Cigar Company locations, Dr. Phillips, Heathrow, and downtown. Learn more at coronacigar.com.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803. Don't wait. Call now. 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Equipment change-outs and upgrades right now with up to $1,275 in rebates. Visit millsair.com.
Look ahead with the team at TK Law to plan your family's future. Visit onefirmforlife.com.
Stay tuned to the Jim Colbert Show as we demonstrate our attitude of gratitude. Our thank you segment is sponsored by Life Imaging FLA. Now open. Call pound 250 keyword heart scan. You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show, also available to watch at The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Jim, talking about transporting firearms between state lines, about 40 years ago or 50 years ago, my dad was actually an FFL, which is a federal firearms licensee. He was a dealer, a gun dealer, and he traveled from Indiana to Kentucky. He got pulled over. The police officer saw a .45 in his glove box, and he got arrested with transporting a firearm between state boundaries without a license, even though he was an FFL. Be careful.
Hey, how's it, Ohana?
Ohana.
Yeah, talking about concealed permits, which my wife and I both have. It affects the way you can carry inside your vehicle. Valid for 7 years. Definitely without one, there's a 3-day waiting period when you buy a handgun. You can buy a long gun same day if you're old enough. But check your reciprocity going over state lines.
Hey, just letting you know, there's a concealed carry map that certain states will honor other states' concealed carries, but also the way it works backwards as well. Some states will not accept another state's concealed carry.
Concealed carry, if you're a Florida resident, is because the concealed carry license is recognized in more states than any other state.
There you go. They know about the guns. All right, 407
I think I
916.
might do it. Just something else I can keep in my wallet.
1041. How long's the class? Is it like one day?
You don't have to take the class. I did the class 30 years ago.
Oh, I see.
Now you just renew it.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
It's like you send a picture and you fill out the info and you send them $45.
They send you an email like, hey, looks like guns still work the same way. You're good. All right, welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb is here.
Hello.
And Jack is as well.
I am.
Big day coming up tomorrow. Scott Maxwell makes another appearance on the show tomorrow.
Twice in 1 week?
Twice in 1 week.
He is working hard.
Lucky us. And then we have a brand new Animal House guest tomorrow, too.
Yes, we do.
You're definitely going to want to log into the YouTube channel tomorrow and check out the show during Animal House. Why is that?
Because we have Jody Carnivale. You know her as Toothless the Sloth's mom.
Okay.
She has been at a lot of News Junkie events. She's been a guest of Sabrina's. We've been working to get her to be able to come on Animal House for a while now, and the schedules and the stars finally aligned. So Jody and Toothless will be joining us tomorrow, and she really wants to get the word out about Toothless's story.
Oh, that's nice. Cool. I can't wait to hear it. Sloths are a very interesting animal for sure.
Very interesting.
All right, let's do you heard it here first, or you heard it here wherever.
It's time for You Heard It Here First on the Jim Colbert Show.
Let me get this right. You heard it here first.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. It's the end of the day. Don't worry about it. Hey, let's do some good news, shall we?
I'm down.
Yay! Finally for some good news, and this is good news. A puppy named Kitchen was safely returned after it went missing during an adoption event. That's according to the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, who said deputies said the dog was returned unharmed this afternoon. Now, detectives said there was no criminal intent in the incident, so the sheriff's office said no charges are going to be filed. If you remember, the rescue had said, return the dog unharmed, and we will ask 0 questions.
Right.
So Kitchen, for those who don't know, was last seen at a PetSmart for a Save a Life pet rescue event in unincorporated Oviedo over the weekend. She is a 4-month-old American Bulldog Bully mix. She looks cute as ever, and she's still up for adoption. So if you're looking for a puppy, Kitchen is back on.
Very nice.
Back on the list. All right. Central Florida Hospital System is the first in the world to use a new blood testing technique to help patients with traumatic brain injuries.
Wow.
The emergency room at Orlando Regional Medical Center is able to run blood tests that will give doctors an idea of just how bad that TBI is within 15 minutes.
Damn, really?
The director of clinical research at Orlando Health, Dr. Linda Papa, told News 6 that the new process will revolutionize treatment. This is going to allow the test to take place on the sidelines of a sporting event, the NFL, high school football, college football, soccer.
Wow, really?
In the military, someone gets hit by an IED. You think it's a concussive concussion. You're able to do this blood test and find out how extensive that traumatic brain injury is.
Unbelievable.
And also in the ambulance to screen patients while they're on their way to the hospital. So by the time you get to the hospital, the doctor knows the extent of your traumatic brain injury.
Incredible.
The blood test is currently only in use at that one Orlando facility, but the developer, Abbott Laboratories, is hoping to expand it to other hospitals nationwide. Kudos for Orlando.
I'm just glad you didn't say Elizabeth Holmes.
And then finally, we didn't need this mashup, but we're getting it anyway, people.
Okay.
Oreo and Coca-Cola are partnering to create limited edition products.
Wow.
The companies announced today that Oreo Coca-Cola cookies and Coca-Cola Oreo Zero Sugar Soda will be available for a limited time starting next month. The cookies will feature Coca-Cola inspired designs and taste along with red edible glitter.
Oh, God.
The soda's flavor will be classic Coca-Cola with hints inspired by Oreo cookies. Mind you, no sugar. Have fun with that. A frozen version will also be available at 7-Eleven and McDonald's. And that's not all. The collaboration will also feature promotions with Spotify and a line of merchandise that will be available at Forever 21.
God, this must have tested well then,
It
because I
must.
can't imagine a national rollout of a product that seems that sketch.
Ugh, it sounds nasty to me, but regardless, you heard it here first.
I'll try it.
On the Jim Colbert Show.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that very much.
You got it.
Who do we have to thank today?
Well, we want to thank, speaking of Scott Maxwell, who we'll be talking to tomorrow evening at 5:20. I also want to thank him for joining us today for What'd You Do That's New. If you need the master list, check it out at JimColbertLive.com. It's all about poker, getting you ready for Saturday night night's poker tournament at the Orlando Science Center by defending the mustard seed.
Have you gotten your outfit yet?
I think I have it almost all put together.
Jack, you know what you're going to wear? Are you going to get ready? Are you just doing regular old dad Shaw stuff?
I never do regular dad
stretch.
Shaw.
Got to stretch, buddy.
Have you been to any of these poker tournaments?
I've been to one before.
Always dress.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
we also want to thank Sam Bowen and Candace Rich for running our YouTube chat.
Thanks,
Have
guys.
you got your outfit planned?
I'm picking it up actually Saturday morning. I'm having it handmade by Spirit Halloween.
Seriously?
I'm coming as a minion.
Okay, now I know you're definitely not doing that.
Took you that long to catch on to this?
Well, I didn't know how much you would actually lean into doing something that fun, and then I remembered it's Jim.
Question of the day, how dare you?
Have you ever been stiffed on wages? This is posted in our YouTube chat.
God, I got to think that most of our audience has probably had an encounter with this. I will say 78%.
49%.
Damn,
Wow.
really? That's good. That's good news. All
Not
right, good.
more honest people out there than we thought.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. You're right. Let's see again. Coming up tomorrow, Animal House, Scott Maxwell, your calls, texts, and talkbacks, gift from our friends over at Orlando Magical Dining. Another wonderful dinner we'll give away tomorrow morning.
And Ross will be joining us at 6 o'clock tomorrow night for another episode of Good Sauce with Ross and Joel.
Absolutely. All right. On behalf of Deb and Jack, I am Jim. We follow the News Junkie. They follow the Monsters of the Morning. After us, it's Tom and Dan with the Corporate Time and our friends from Real Laughs. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 for more of the Jim Colbert Show. Until then, have yourself a fantastic Tuesday evening.
Bye.
I do ginger brandy.
A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan is coming up next on Real Radio 104.